City Council candidate for Ward 8, Daniel Trayes here, live on location, here to talk today with Cruising with Phil.
Cruise with Phil.
There he is. How you doing,
Hey, Mr. Daniel, how you doing? Hey?
Good,
We
good,
met before, at the Jenny Warden's.
At Jenny Warden's thing.
I know
When
before.
was that, in June or July?
Oh, in June, right?
Yeah,
So it's
something
Cruising
like
with Phil. Phil the Cruise is my new candidate, Mr. Daniel Trayes. And how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I probably should have shaved, but I'm doing okay.
You can't see it, but if you focus on the camera, he's got nice blue eyes. Really nice blue eyes. Yeah. Suits him. So,
Yeah, no, it's been busy knocking on a lot of doors and talking to the community. We would have liked to do this today, like I was saying, at
pouring rain
the house
outside,
there,
yeah.
but it's pouring rain, so we're at a location here,
right by in the Sheridan Center.
Yeah, right across from City Hall.
They renovated this place. I've been here a long time.
I've never been to this part in my life.
No,
It looks nice, yeah.
It's good. So tell us why you're running.
Well, point blank, it's something I've done on 4 different occasions before, but this time is more special. It's the neighborhood I was born in. Ward 8 is the neighborhood I currently live in, which I don't think the other candidates can say, but
Yeah.
I can. I'm proud of it. And it's just a focus on helping community, about community building, getting the community involved in the decision making that's going to affect their future. I'm almost 50 years old, so I'm not going to be
50? You
that.
don't look
I'll be
50.
50 next year. I actually turned 49 1 week before the election on the 19th. So yeah, it's just about getting community involved. We have a strong black community in Ward 8 Eglinton Lawrence,
Yes.
and it's been neglected for too long, and I know people are looking at this saying, what are you going to do about it? But I've experienced it all with them. I've joined all the groups there, and I'm really focused and just can't wait to get this done. 3 months down and 3 months to go.
So
Man.
we'll jump in ahead here. I'm going to bug you with your. Let's go in your
Yeah.
background. Are you from Toronto? Born in Toronto?
Born right there in Little Jamaica. I was actually born in Toronto, what's the hospital, Bathurst and Dundas, Toronto Western.
Toronto Western. Yeah.
And that's where I was born. My parents split when I was very young. I think I was about a year old. And the first ever apartment I lived in with my mother and my 2 brothers is down at 1500 Eglinton West, which is right at the beginning of what's known as Little Jamaica.
Okay.
So from knee-high to a grasshopper to present time, I've been in and around the community my whole life.
Oh, great. Yeah. So
I have lived at other places around the city, like I was homeless from 1997.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, 97 to 2016, going through some mental health struggles, some addictions, and it caused me to go down a path I didn't want to go down. During that time, I didn't live in Ward 8 Eglinton Lawrence, but I still frequented the area, and my family was there. I think we're either 4 or 5 generations deep in that area.
Yeah.
So my focus after getting housed in 2016, I actually flukily ran into Deputy Mayor Paul Ainsley on a GO train. And that was the start of my
Oh, really?
political career.
This is a
And,
week before you started working for him, right?
2 years before, so I finally got housed in May of 2016, and it just so happened to be in his neighborhood in Scarborough, and I didn't have anybody to help me move, and I don't have a license, so I was moving my stuff actually on the GO train,
Yeah.
and I was on the very last trip going back to my old place, and I stumbled, and I say stumbled because I was going to be drinking that day, and I saw, he was Councillor Ainsley at the time, he's now Deputy Mayor, and I just walked right up to him and made conversation, and from that point forward, I included myself into the going-ons in the neighborhood. And 2018, I helped his campaign, and I was offered a job afterwards.
Okay.
So that's how it started for me.
We'll go backwards a bit. Let's talk about this. You talk about mental problems.
Yes.
You want me to ask some questions about? Because
No, go right
I'm going to
ahead.
ask. The reason I'm asking is because something that's never been talked about in any election. We don't talk about the perfect candidate. They got no problems. Though well, we all have issues. I have issues. You have issues, right?
Absolutely.
And here you are. You've had issues. You've been homeless. You've had
Yeah.
mental problems. If you want to discuss that, that's fine. But the point of the fact is that you can still run for council.
Oh,
The things you've been
absolutely.
through. And there's your example right here. You're running for council.
Absolutely.
And that's what's called grassroots experience. Not what's the word we before the interview? Not living the word. I'm invested in
Invested in the neighborhood. Yes, I'm
so you're
sure
not
we're going to
invested,
hear.
you're actually living the. You'll get it a lot.
I'm sure we're going to hear a lot
Yeah.
about investing in the neighborhood of. That's one of the things that pisses me off really about. And I'm going to try not to mention names today, but one of the fellow candidates I'm with in this election race keeps. I almost said her name. Well, there you go. It's only one woman,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
hi, Liz.
Yeah,
But
all good
yeah, we're all in fun competition. But one thing that really pisses me off about her campaign is they use that tagline that they're a grassroots campaign.
Yeah.
And when you're charging $250 a person just to meet you and talk to you, and it's not even in the
You
ward
mean
we're running in.
the dinner thing?
Yeah,
I don't believe
this
that
is the
either.
second one now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
That's not a grassroots campaign. I'm running a grassroots campaign. I live there, I was born there, and I'm gonna die there. $20 here, $50 there is what I'm getting. I'm not charging people $200-300 to go meet me. So that's one of the things that I think people need to, any candidate needs to focus on is, the first question I always get asked is, do you live in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
I live here, I was born here, I'll die here.
Yeah.
The second question I get asked is, what is your colors? And what that means is, what party do you belong to?
Oh, yes.
So some people might not know, as a candidate for city council, you're independent. There's no parties at the city level. I have never personally had a party membership, and I've helped all three levels of government, about 3 dozen different campaigns on every level of government for each party.
Yeah.
So this focus that certain candidates have, that they can try to pull off a win by pulling the wool over people's eyes, it's not going to work. It might work for mainstream media cameras. It's not going to work when it comes to community and ward aid.
You know, if I get personal with you, it's up to you.
You can ask me whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
About the mental issues. Can you discuss what issues you had and how you got over it, or not go over it? Everybody's a new day, right?
Absolutely.
So what happened to you?
So for myself, when I was 3 months old, and I really don't want to harp on this because people are going to say, "Oh, you're using it for your kid." Well, hell yeah, I am. Okay?
No, it's part of life.
When I was 3 months old, I was diagnosed with a form of meningitis that had no shots, no cures, no nothing.
No.
Absolutely. I actually still have the typewriter health record.
And tell people what meningitis is.
It was affecting my brain, and something I was too young to understand it.
Yeah.
But from what I've read up on, it was fluid on the brain, and I always had to get my spine drained and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My mom tells me stories, and she remembers me being in that machine thing that they would hold up the baby, and that's how they would keep me still to drain. And I was in and out of hospital for sick kids for probably the first 3-4 years of my life. It left me with a scoliosis in my back, and they also said, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure they will when they watch this, but something to do with frontal lobe damage. It's like the decision-making process of your brain, that portion of your brain. And, as a very young age, at the age of 14 years old, I was put into a facility for 2.5 years. It was more on the criminal aspect of things. I first got arrested when I was 14 years old, making poor choices and poor decisions. Thankfully, I haven't been in trouble in over 20 years, 22 years, something like that. But yeah, it was mainly a mental health issue with regards to my decision making. I wasn't acting proper, not only for my family, but in society, man. I caught 2 drinking and driving charges when I was younger. Thankfully, no accident for anybody. But from that point forward, I took the personal choice to never drive again. And I haven't driven a car since 2006. I live up there in Ward 8, right beside the Cedarville station. So I have no reason to drive. The congestion is just out of this world up there. But yeah, so with regards to my mental health aspect of it, how I got better, I'll simply put it to you. I was at the point in my life, that's not my baby, by the way. I was at least I don't think it is. Let me look. I was at a point in my life where I was ready to end everything. And I've never been like that before that or after that.
Are you by yourself? Like, do you have anybody to support you?
No, I always had family. My family's been great, but they had to take a position at one point to like say, "Hey, Dan, fix it. Come to us if you're hungry. Come to us if you need a roof over your head." I always had that option. But I just never wanted to disrupt my family. I have 4 other siblings.
You have 2 brothers, right?
I have actually 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay.
My mom and my dad had 3 of us boys. My dad went on and got remarried and had another boy and another girl. So there's 5 of us total. I always joke with my dad, 4 out of 5 ain't bad, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was just at a point in life where I didn't want to disrupt their lives, and I was just focused on being an asshole. And that's what it turned out to be for the next few years. 2016, I went to City Hall. I was giving a deputation, and it's all on YouTube and documented. I was given a deputation to open the new Hope Shelter in Leslieville.
Oh, okay.
And I was at the end of my rope. Like I said, I had this plan, a letter written out, everything. I was going to kill myself. I started walking to Ottawa. I made it as far
Like
as
literally physically walking out of it?
walking.
Really?
I,
Which,
I had a
which
letter,
route did you take?
across Kingston.
Oh,
Across
Kingston
Highway
all
2.
the way? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
I made it to Curtis,
Oh,
Ontario,
yeah, wow, Curtis, eh?
and I got to a point where there was a forest,
Yeah.
and it was dark. I wasn't going there. Thank God, because when I started walking back to the Tim Hortons,
Yeah.
which I had made it already 100 kilometers that day, right? My phone went ding. We have a place for you.
Back in Toronto?
That fucking changed. Sorry, but that changed everything for me.
Wow.
I turned right around. No thoughts of suicide anymore.
Yeah.
So my focus for going forward in the community,
Yeah.
as well as for myself, is to help people with housing and the wraparound services that come with it. Because without a place over your head, you're no good to nobody. How are you
So
gonna?
because of that phone call, it changed your whole
Because of
life.
that phone call, what was her name? The lady's name was Tamara. I remember that from TCHC.
Thank you, Tamara.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I don't know if she's still there.
Yeah. Did you ever meet her?
Not in person.
No?
No, I seen her on like what do you call it, the Zoom call or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But not in person. But I'm forever thankful for those people.
Did you ever
because-
thank her?
No, I haven't had a chance to. You know what? That you just caused me another thing to do to put on the checklist. But I am going to do that. That's a good idea.
Well, if she's
actually.
watching this, do you want to say thank you?
Yeah, just say, hey, if it wasn't for you, Tamara, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. And that was Tamara from the TCHC Corporation, so Toronto Community Housing.
Thank you for recognizing the
Yes.
work you're doing on, you know?
But if I didn't have a place, I would have been dead.
So what happened? You ended up walking back, or?
No, I had money. I got on the go bus.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I was just walking to say la vie to
Yeah, yeah.
myself or whatever.
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
I don't know, it was something that was going on then in my mind, but
Yeah.
it's not now. So
Thank you.
I can only explain as much as I can remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I took the bus right back, and 2 weeks later I was in my place.
What kind of place did you get?
It was a bachelor up in Scarborough, so it was right across from McDonald's at Lawrence and Kingston Road.
Oh yeah, nice place.
No, it was hell.
Oh yeah.
It was hell, yes. We
Wow.
had record-setting murder of the year, the 90th murder of the year
In
in,
the-
2018.
in the building?
Yes.
Really?
I'll never forget the name, Cardinal Licorice, shot dead by a 17 and 18-year-old all over drugs, and it just, people started coming to me.
Mhm.
Dan, we know what you do, so you need to help us. You need to, well, what do you mean I need to help you? I'm on the block with you, just like you are.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And it just got to a point where after I started working for...
Well, what do you mean they wanted your help? They wanted your help?
They wanted my help with regards to like, oh, can you fix this, or can you give me a transfer here, because
Oh,
they knew
so
that I had
they-
involvement with the city.
Yeah. Okay. That's
And
good. That's good. They
it was
could-
good,
Yeah.
but then it got to the point where I was getting death threats.
Oh really?
And because of the work I was doing in the neighborhood it was,
Yeah.
and I moved back to Ward 8, Eglinton Lawrence, and I've been back there now for, I think, actually, August is the 7-year mark.
Okay.
Yeah, 2019 I came back, and I'm not leaving.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I know I talk a lot.
It's a little
but,
off
you know.
topic here. You mentioned
No.
about the you're not a parachute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing is, people make fun of people with parachute. If you lived there before, you moved away.
Absolutely.
You bet. So you're actually a parachute. You lived there before. You moved back.
Yeah, yeah.
I also agree with that. Even people apply to run they're not living the ward, but they're a parachute, but they have lived in the ward. For example, you live in Ward 9, right? And you ran in Ward 8. People say, well, you're a parachute, but not. I've lived in my ward.
Yeah, no, I know the
If
ward.
you haven't lived in the ward at all and you're a parachute, this is a different story, right?
So I'm 49, I'm going to be 49 years old 1 week before the election. And let's see, how many years of my life? I've probably been there, living there, probably like 26 years of my life, of my 49 years. The last 7 straight.
So where are you living now? A building or what?
Yeah, I live right at Roseland and Marley.
Okay.
I can say that safely because there's about 10 buildings there, so
Yeah.
good luck finding me. But I'm not afraid like that. You know what I mean? I'm involved in the neighborhood. It's mostly a seniors building,
Mhm.
so I'm always either shoveling the walkway when they can't get to their appointments, which Mike Cole.
I'm sorry, Dan. You're gonna become a senior just like us.
I'm gonna be there soon.
It's a seniors building. What do you?
Yeah, no, but I would say
I'm
out
kidding.
of about 200 apartments,
Yeah.
probably about 180 of them
Well,
are
yes,
seniors, and I'm
seniors,
talking,
yeah.
I'm talking like 70 and above.
Yeah.
We have one resident, I think that's 90 years old.
Okay.
The tenant rep's 84.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Great people, great environment, but physically there's things that they can't do.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we're at that 4 corners of the buildings. The 3 condo buildings get shoveled and taken care of.
Oh,
The one
the
with
other
the
one-
seniors, that's TCHC and disabled people?
They don't.
They don't
Of
help.
course
So
not.
I've been doing it for the past 3 years.
And why is that? Why do they get priority?
I don't know, you're gonna have to ask Mike Cole, the incumbent that's been there since 1982.
He's still there, huh?
Yeah, so he was first elected in 1982,
Yeah.
and in one capacity or another, he served the neighborhood, which I'm not gonna knock him for that.
Yeah.
He did go away for an 18-year period when he was an MPP for the area,
Mhm.
because it's all the same area, but then his son took over. And
Who's the son?
Josh Matlow. Or sorry, not Matlow.
Josh Matlow.
Not Matlow, sorry. Josh Cole. Not Matlow. No, it's Josh Cole.
Oh, Josh Cole.
And then when Mike came back this time around, he won it, and now Josh Cole is working
Josh,
at the
you think I
TCT.
did he's on CTV all the time? Josh Cole, was that saying that? No.
No, he was a city councilor for Ward 8 Eglinton
Oh,
Lawrence.
okay,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And then when Mike came back,
Yeah.
Josh is now working for the TTC.
Okay.
So this is part of the reason why I bring it up. Is some of the residents are asking me. They noticed that Mike at the last couple of council meetings had to declare a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And they keep asking me, why did he do that? Why did he do something wrong? I go, no, he didn't do nothing wrong. But when you have a family member or a spouse, anything like that, that works for any entity of
Yeah.
City Hall or the city as a whole,
Mhm.
you have to declare a conflict.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I thankfully, I don't. My mother is a 37-year retired member of the TPS, the Toronto Police Service. And
What did she do?
She was a civilian member, so she was doing everything from riding in the paddy wagons. She did 19 years at parking enforcement, so she was a meter maid or Green Hornet or whatever name you give to them. And she ended her career answering the phones at 808-2222, the non-emergency number.
That's good.
But she retired about 9 years ago. She 35 or 37 years experience. So my focus, like, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that one.
So back to 2016.
There you go.
Yeah, get you back. Back to 2016, you moved back.
It's going to be a 3-hour interview, guys.
You moved back to you got your apartment, okay?
Yep.
So now you're helping people in the community. You get death threats. So continue on from there.
So then was August of 2019. I was approached by officials at the city, I'll put it that way, and they said, we got an option for you, and I said, okie dokie, let's go.
What's the option?
And, the option was either, you know those two brown buildings, they're round at Warden, in between Warden and Victoria Park stations when you're outside? I don't know which neighborhood.
Warden?
Yeah,
Warden
you'll-
Station?
You'll see it if you're riding on the train. But
Oh, you mean
anyways,
those cluster buildings there?
yeah, there's two round ones though that are circles. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah, okay,
it-
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not.
yeah, I know
a-
what you're talking about, yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
a nice. I think it's Fir Grove. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
It wasn't a nice situation.
Yeah.
So I was given two options. I was told I can go there, or I can go to where I currently am.
You mean to live?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my brother actually lives down the street from where I live now.
Okay.
So it was an easy option. Let's
Yeah.
go back home. I call it home because I'll never leave.
Yeah.
And this is what people need to focus on when they're going through this election, right? It's that you need somebody that understands the neighborhood and that is not there for $250 plates or to erect a 40-story
Yes,
condo.
are you gonna eat $250 of food in one day, in 1 hour?
It's like, do you know there's not a lot of people that could afford $200, $250 just to go say hello.
I think I mentioned to you, we talked on the phone, I said I offered two from where I ran.
Mm.
I said, what I would do, all my constituents are all working still. So me say, hey, I'm having a fundraiser, sorry, you endorse it, but you can't afford it, you can't go. It's just ignorant.
You see, and
Yeah.
too, when you're running for mayor, that's the type of things that you have to do, right?
Yeah.
When you're running to be a city councilor, I'm running to basically oversee, let's say, around 100,000 people. I'm not there to be your best buddy. I'm not there
Yeah.
to be your enemy. I'm there to be the caretaker of your property taxes, the caretaker of your garbage issues, your TTC, basic infrastructure. Like, if you don't have infrastructure, how are you going to build 10, 40-story condos? You know what's going to happen? Kerplunk. These people don't use their brains.
Do you find these dinners outdated?
I just don't.
This is my thing, what I said before. Instead of having a fundraiser for the elite, I would have a fundraiser where everybody brings something of their own and you can donate and take half that money and put it back in the community.
Well, I'll give you an example. Like the other day, so what I've been doing, since we've had a little trouble getting noticed in the neighborhood, because of some of the things that the incumbent's doing, and we can talk about that later or another time. So I've been going through all the events in the community and showing up. And so, like, for example, the other day there was an event for the youth up at Lawrence Heights, which is a very important part of our neighborhood in Ward 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I just walked in. And said, hey, everybody, how's it going? The great part about it is everybody already knew me. Because for some people that don't know, I've been the guy knocking on the doors for the past 6-7 years, campaigning for all those levels of government. So the current MP, Vince Caspero, I was his right hand at the door. For the current MPP, I did not work on her campaign, but I have met her a couple of times over the past month. Nice lady. I personally will never agree with anything the BC party does, because the way they treat the health system, the education system, the seniors, I don't agree with it. But I'm more than willing to work with somebody, no matter what stripe they're from, to ensure that the community works as a whole.
Yeah.
Everything for the community. I don't give a poopy about making money. I'm not going to have anybody in my pocket, and you're not going to find no scandals with me. And in fact, one of the only 2 promises I made. One is I'm going to work my ass off and be the most transparent city councilor you've ever seen in your life. Ever. In fact, I'm going to piss people off, and I love it.
You backtrack again. I didn't get ahead of yourself.
Get it.
So 2019, they offered you 2 places. You took it, and after that, what happened with your career?
My bad. That is the original question you asked, isn't it?
No, that's 2016. You got.
Yeah, so,
2019, you got
20
offered 2 places. You took one.
Yeah.
And then continued on from there.
I came back to the neighborhood. It was, like I said, August 2019.
Yep.
I wasn't really involved because, as you know, a couple of months later we ran into COVID.
Yep.
And that seems to be when the world shut the hell down and, you know, nothing was going on. So it was ironic because that year in 2019, not only did I get the place, but that's when my family started letting me back in their lives.
Oh, okay.
And they were always there.
Yeah.
But I mean in their lives, like inviting me over to
Okay.
events and going to birthday parties and Christmas and shit like that.
How was that on you? Your mental state.
It was great when that first started happening.
Yeah.
Well, four months after they started letting me in is when we got kicked home for COVID.
Okay.
I have a 99-year-old grandmother.
And you couldn't like.
I have
yeah.
both my parents are
Yeah.
seniors. I have siblings who have kids, who have discs, who have
Yeah.
couldn't do nothing. So it was 4 months of.
But you have contact already.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And then once COVID was
Yeah.
over, whatever way you want to look at it, we're still in contact. My brother is the one that was going to let us have the interview the
Yeah.
other day in his backyard, which is in Ward 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm good with them on that level. We have certain understandings and I don't want to say guidelines, but I know some do's and don'ts. You know, like don't go calling somebody for $1,000 because you're going to work for it because you can, right? It's just little things like that. It's just about respect. It's the same thing with this interview. It's the same thing with council run. You have to have a respect for the process. And when I continuously in this campaign so far, I mean, there's been 2 times already that there's been an issue with people posting signs early.
Yeah.
And this is BS because if I can't post one until October 1st,
Yeah.
you sure as hell ain't gonna post
Exactly.
one. I'm not gonna be walking by every day looking at your sign.
Still gonna backtrack again.
Do it, because I did it again.
I know you got no. It's all right. No, I didn't
No,
get hit.
I'm doing it.
No. So 2019.
Are we
Right.
still on 2019?
Yeah,
My bad.
The COVID's now over.
Yeah.
So during COVID, how did you get involved in politics? Was there still something else you're doing before that, or what?
At that particular moment in time, nah, man, I'm tired.
You were just
During
sticking to-
COVID, I was
yeah.
just doing my thing.
Yeah.
I was making money on the side by helping others in their, I would say, plights in the community. You know, who do I call for this? I was helping people do LTB hearings, the landlord-tenant board, because they're pretty
So
basic.
you're doing
to
it during
me.
the COVID period.
Yeah. We were doing all that, but I wasn't
So
working
that says something about
politically.
your character. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's something about your character. The people reaching out to you during the COVID period.
Yep.
To ask you to help in LTV and all those things, right?
Well, that's the thing too, right?
You're
Like-
already in the community established, so you're known. So
Exactly.
also by referrals, right? So let me ask
Exactly.
you a question before you go on.
Go for it.
The first time somebody came up to you during this time period, say, "Listen, Danny, need help," and then after they came back and said, "Daniel, thank you so much for your help." You remember that time period? God, you're bringing
I don't want to brag, but
No, brag.
there was plenty of times that happened.
How did
right?
it feel? How did it feel? Great, eh?
Yeah, it was like in a video I did the other day.
Yes.
I said, you know, it not only affects your head,
Yeah.
your mind, but
Yes.
it's affecting
Affects
my
your
heart now.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody. I've never been
And you
that
feel-
kind
did
of
you feel
guy.
you wanna do more?
Fucking all the time.
Yeah.
I live it. I breathe this shit.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what I do. Part of my language, guys. I'm not perfect yet.
So what's in it for you though?
Obviously, I want something at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
If you're going for an accomplishment, you know, you have a goal,
Yeah.
like running for council. Obviously, you want to be a councilor. I don't know anybody that runs to lose. So, but for me personally, it's all about giving back for what I was given. Those 19 years or so that I was homeless, I was given a place to stay. I was given food. I was given everything.
So those reach out to you, you want to reach back and give it
Always, right? So I don't
That's
think,
nice.
I didn't start helping another campaign till the 2022 election.
Okay.
I helped the second place finisher. I was the right hand at the door for Evan Sambasivam, who finished second to Mike Cole the last time around in Ward 8.
So when you're helping the community during the COVID, now COVID's coming in, when do you start getting into politics? Where do you start doing it first?
Almost instantly.
So what happened there? How do you get into that? Did somebody invite you or do you
No, I walk right in, man. You got to act like you own it.
So you walked in City Hall and what
I
happened?
walked right into City Hall. I was actually the second person to give a deputation when City Hall came back.
It was deputation about the,
I remember it. It was actually about the color coding for the buildings that they're doing
I
now.
mean, the ABC thing?
Yeah, when they're
Not that, like, I mean, the green, yellow, and
green,
yeah.
So it was that. I jokingly called it the Acorn AGM or something like that.
Who's the council created that? Remember who was?
I don't know who started it. I know Acorn, the group Acorn.
Yeah.
They did a lot of work on it.
And you're a member too, Acorn?
Yeah. Oh,
Both
yeah. I
members,
know all
both
of them.
members, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you said I'm a member?
Are you a member?
No, I'm
Oh,
not a
okay,
member, but I've been around them. I've been to a
Okay.
couple protests and functions with them.
Okay.
But it was that day. I think it was one of the M words, March or May of 2022.
Mhm.
And it was all Acorn people at City Hall, right? But I was the second guy to give a deputation. I remember it was Anna Bailau that was chairing, I think it was the Planning and Housing Committee at the time.
Yeah.
And then that year, in October, was the next municipal election. I also worked on the provincial election that year too. So he was an independent candidate named Sam Kaplan. He was a 19-year-old kid who went through all the motions and process with the NDP party provincially. And at last moment, and I'm not going to say why, I'll tell you why off camera, but it was pretty shitty. But they ended up letting him go, not letting him be the candidate for the NDP.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So,
I thought it was public knowledge then.
well, probably, but
Yeah.
if I say it, people are going to say, "Oh, you think this?"
No.
I don't care. I'll say it. I don't give a shit.
So 2022, you got involved with the, you did deputation? And
Yep.
Who in 2022 did you get? What councillors
I did
support?
Sam Kaplan for the provincial. He ran independently.
Yeah.
And
what'd you do
He got
for
a couple hundred votes. I was the campaign manager for his campaign, but it was
Okay.
basically only me and him.
Yeah.
So he got a couple hundred votes, but it was a learning
So what did
experience.
you
He's
do
a
for
kid.
him? Just break it down.
Knocking on doors, hi, how are you? Getting signs put up. I think he had like 500 signs put up and stuff.
You were setting up things for him? Like events and all that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where we go, when we go into Lawrence Heights, for example, you needed a shitload of people to be there, right? So I really hope I don't get your video kicked off of YouTube for saying these cuss words, but
Oh, they seem what's in there. Are you kidding? It's-
yeah, so I did that for him, but at the same time, I was also I was the right hand at the door for the second place finisher in the municipal campaign against Mike Cole.
Okay.
And I didn't know as much as I knew now, or know now. I know the rules and everything
Yeah.
like that, but there's certain things you learn as you go along.
Yeah.
It's like riding a bike,
Yeah.
right? So now that I know these things, the incumbent's going to have a little bit of trouble this
So
time
was
around.
Kaplan very happy with your help knowledge?
Sorry?
Kaplan, was he happy with the
Oh yeah. No, he was, like I said,
So
he was
that
a
was-
19-year-old kid. He's
Yeah,
learning.
I remember,
you know.
yeah.
He's still going to be there. I
Yeah.
think he's going to be one of the names you're going to see
I think so,
eventually
yeah.
at either federal provincial or municipal level. The
So that's
second.
2020, that's when I ran for mayor, so that's when you helped
Yeah.
Mr. Kaplan there?
Yeah, and also Evan Sambasivam, like I said, who finished second.
Yeah.
But he's helping out another municipal campaign now, so he's not running. So I wish that campaign.
Yeah, I met him
well.
once during the, one of the events.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just briefly walked by, ran and
Yeah.
yelled at the thing, yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
skinny guy.
Yeah, he's taller.
He's put a little weight more on,
Yeah, so
He's a nice guy.
his dad was of Sri Lankan descent.
Yep. Yeah.
And his mom is actually the sister to former health minister and deputy premier Deb Matthews.
Oh, okay.
So I got that experience. I knocked on doors with Deb probably 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
But yeah, I was his right hand at the door. So that's how everybody knows me now in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
They either remember me as a kid, or they get sick of me knocking on their door year after year, ever since back in Marco Mendocino days.
So after 2022, after what happened, after the election, what happened to that?
So after the election, surprisingly, somehow, because I was also helping Deputy Mayor Paul Ainsley's campaign at the same time, I did like 6 different campaigns that year.
Yeah.
I was just, throwing my name in here and there. You know how it works.
But they had no problem with the conflict of interest among the old.
I can do whatever I want.
So
You
what-
can't tell me what to do. That's one thing people will learn.
So what happened after that?
And then he hired me back again.
Who,
Paul Ainsley.
he hired you back?
Yeah, as a constituency assistant. I worked another.
When you bid, you don't bid. How did he hire you in the first place?
Oh, he hired me in 2018. So after doing that about 2 years worth of community work in the community, his chief of staff actually called me on a Saturday, and I called her a name and hung up the phone.
Oh, you didn't
Because
do
I
it?
thought,
It was a joke?
who's calling this guy?
But how do they know who to call you? Because you're
They
community
have the
work?
numbers, yeah, from the community work and volunteering on their campaign.
Oh, you
and
didn't
stuff.
apply, they asked you?
Yeah, they called me.
And what did they say?
I told her to screw herself, basically, and
Yeah.
hung up the phone.
And then what happened?
She called me back. She said, "No, Dan, this is serious." And I
Yeah.
go, "Oh, okay." And to be honest with you, I sort of forgotten that I helped this campaign.
What did she ask you?
I was so they hired me to be a constituent assistant a couple days a week. What that is like you're
A what?
calling in a constituency assistant. Sorry, we all shorten it
Yeah,
down.
you gotta
Yeah.
explain for the non-voting,
Yeah.
non-politician, yeah.
So yeah, it's a constituency assistant. And basically, what that means is I was the gopher for his office.
Okay.
If he needed me to go out and help him at a town hall meeting, I would stand there and hi everybody and greet people.
That's a paid position?
Like, yeah. But I wasn't full-time on the union. I was part-time contract worker.
Mhm.
So they have a section, I think it's called Section 17A of the contract,
Mhm.
where they can let you go for no reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with or without cause. So both times I was let go without cause. It just meant that they didn't
So the
have.
first time, how long were you there?
Ooh, 2 years?
Okay.
From late 2018, a year and a half, late
To
2018
To 22?
to the day that COVID hit, March 9th, 2020.
Okay.
And then I went about 2 years without any contact with them.
Yeah.
And then like I said, I went back, helped this campaign in 2022.
Now, did you offer, or did he call you in after the?
No, I contacted them the second
Yeah,
time.
oh, okay. And
I
they
was
said-
like, yeah, I was
Because
like,
of COVID's
"Ah."
now getting over and all that, right?
Yeah, and I said, I'm missing you guys.
Yeah.
And I was probably drunk, I don't know, right? But one night I remember I wrote, I can say her first name, but Antoinette was her name.
Mhm.
And the reason why I mention is because I want to say Councillor Ainsley's staff and himself are the best staff I've ever worked out with any
Oh, really?
job I've ever.
Really?
Yeah, no, they're very helpful. Sure, it didn't end well. Like it's not that it ended bad.
Yeah, we talked about that, Karen.
Yeah, but it didn't end perfectly, but those are the way things go. But I was always respectful of what they shared with me, and to be honest with you, other than my mother, who was working within bylaws and stuff, and she was working, that team of Deputy Mayor Paul Ainsley are the ones that taught me how to be like I am today, where I'm not cursing every person out that I meet, where I'm not telling people to go F themselves and how I know how to properly conduct myself during a campaign. Because those were the two main, you go back and look at Paul Ainsley's margin of victory in those campaigns,
Yeah.
second to none.
Yeah.
And who was at the door with him, right by his side?
You.
It's just like Vince Gasparo. So Vince actually ran the provincial campaign first. He lost by only I think it was 200 votes or something like that. So he ran the following year, I think it was, federally,
Mhm.
and he won by about 500. What was the only difference on his team from the provincial run than his federal run?
Let's see.
You're looking at it.
So, let's do that. What is it about you that sells for
I just-
people that they wanna?
I'm
easy-
honest.
Yeah.
I'm honest. I'm at your door. For example, this is Vince Gasparo. He's running to be your next MP in the area. You got any issues you want to talk about?
Yes.
Because I have that knowledge where I can answer you right away, as opposed to being, and I don't want to diminish them because they are needed, but as opposed to being a regular volunteer,
Yeah.
I'm answering and asking questions. So that's my ability that I can't teach somebody. I don't know where I got it from. I don't know how. I just started doing it, and hi, I'm here for Vince Gasparo. Hi, I'm here for Philip. Hi, I'm here for Dan.
Yeah.
All I have to do is change the name. But the same approach and attitude is what people will relate to. And in Ward 8 Eglinton Lawrence, where we've been thousands of doors now, people want reality. They don't want you to show up in a suit and tie.
Well,
Hi,
that's
how
why
you doing
the,
today?
That's why I asked to be an interview about mental stress, health.
Mm.
It's never discussed in the election. Like I did some of the other candidates, just things that's discussed, not discussed in elections. We have this thing of the facade, the whole thing of dinner thing's a facade, So my question I ask you, ever thought of doing mentoring with your background, all the experience for people with mental problems? I mean, you help them.
Well-
but I mean, like officially, if you became counselor, would you consider making mentoring program with people with mental issues, like not hide it, but put it out there, like say I've had a problem with mental problems. You told your whole story right now, but because of that story, people are going to watch and say, hey, you know what? If you can do it, I can.
Absolutely.
You might right now, what you said, people will be watching this interview and might be on the verge of doing something themselves, which they shouldn't be doing, because everybody's worth something.
Absolutely.
And they may watch that and say, you know what? He can do it. Here you are, sitting here across from me doing an
Listen,
interview.
I'm going to tell you honestly, man, and some people already know this about me. I graduated grade 8. I'll be 49 years old the week before the election. I graduated grade 8. So I have no university or college or anything with this shit. It's all
But you-
hands-on, right?
And I'm gonna go on that, and it's funny you said that, because you know, people, I'm in the armed forces, we have this concept of college, you go to college, take these courses, but you don't have hands experience. I go by the book, like you said,
Mhm.
I don't have grade 8, I mean, I have grade 8, I don't have I don't have a degree in education, but I got a degree in life, and which is more important. Who am I gonna rely on? I'm gonna ask the guy at the tech, or ask you?
I
You
think-
know?
I
I'd ask the
think-
guy at you, I wouldn't ask the guy at the tech.
I think that's what's important, especially about a municipal election where you don't belong to a party.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about what Doug Ford's gonna think about
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
I'm not worried about what Mark Carney's gonna think. I don't give a crap who's, I'm telling you honestly, I don't give a crap who's premier, who's mayor, who's prime minister, none of it. I wanna know what you're gonna do for the community. And if I'm talking to somebody in the community about, say, for example, like you said, mental health, I wanna talk to somebody that's had mental health issues before. I don't want to talk to a suit and tie that's going to go, well, this is what I think you should do. Well, how the hell do you know if you've never had that problem?
Yeah.
How I had somebody tell me the other day, you don't know the issues. They were talking about homelessness and all that.
They
stuff.
said it to you?
They said that to me.
Who said it
Well,
to you?
It was a former city worker that's a resident.
Oh,
I can
yeah?
leave it at that. And they
Wait,
said,
oh,
you don't,
you're knocking
yeah,
doors?
knocking on doors. And they said, you don't understand how it works. And I go, pardon me?
Yeah.
I go, well, and I went into it, right? I was
Yeah,
homeless, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
And how'd they feel after talking to them?
Talked to me for another 20 minutes and had a coffee with me
They got your coffee.
because they wanted to talk about it. They wanted to see somebody with experience.
That's exactly right.
Sure, you got to know what you're doing. You know, when you're dealing, as a counselor, even you're going to deal with developers. You're going to deal with companies and shit. But I think as a counselor, it's very important that you get somebody. And I'm not just saying this for myself, but it's very important that you get somebody that's independent of any party, that's independent of charging $250 for a plate, a person that lives there. That's the number one question everybody asks. Where do you live? Do you live in the area? Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's very important to have the
Back
experience.
in 2022, were you thinking back then of running for council?
No, because if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Hold on. There was, no, that was 2021. So 2021, I skipped one, sorry. I actually ran Scarborough Agent Court the by-election
Oh,
for
sorry,
the
yeah,
counselor.
yeah.
Got my ass
Counselor,
kicked, but
yeah. Who won
it
that
was,
one?
Mantis.
Oh, Mantis.
Mantis ended up winning because he was the chief of staff, the outgoing crooked Jim Garagianis.
Oh, him?
Yes. So those
You
times.
mean the developer dealer?
No, not him.
No, not him, of course not,
I
yeah.
don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Ironically enough,
Yeah.
he's one of the people. You know how you get the 3,000 messages a day saying, "Would you like my signs? Would you
Yeah,
like my
yeah.
printing?" He's actually involved in that. I've gotten a message from him over this campaign.
Oh, yeah?
I don't even read.
Really?
For the record, guys, I don't read those things. At least 20 a day. You want to use my media relations? Can you come test out this app
Yeah.
for me? What do you think this is? Like, I like to eat. Come on now, you know. So yeah, it's constantly, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I didn't hand in my financials that time. I missed the cutoff date
Oh,
for
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
reason.
you didn't for the
So
next
I was
election.
suspended
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
next election. There was nothing bad happened. There was no fraud.
But some people do it on purpose, like the last
Yeah.
one, you know what they do? They don't wanna pay the expenditures though.
Mhm.
Because the last one, like one guy, I won't say his name, but he spent over 30 grand on the by-election.
Yep.
And that's crazy.
Well, a lot of people don't understand too is that you can raise up to $10,000
Yeah.
and not have to report one penny.
No, no.
And that's what some people do. So when you see a mayor's list of like 34, 50 people,
Yeah.
I guarantee you at least half of those people are just there to raise money and then get the heck
That's
out,
right,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Which to me, that's a waste of time. Why, if you want to beg for money, just go to mutual aid or, you know, go somewhere else. Don't use an election because this is where it throws people off, right? I'm focusing this election on having an understanding with the community. You're gonna have to deal with all the office people and you get it, right? But I know how to do that. Why? Because I've been there before. Whereas these candidates, other than the 81-year-old incumbent, and I know I keep harping on his age, but it's only because he's been around for 44 years. I think he's had time enough to get it right. He hasn't gotten it right yet.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's get into the, talking on the phone before we get into your campaign. Tell people your story about how you got something done that the incumbents couldn't get done in 6 months. You
Yeah,
remember that?
yeah.
Start from the beginning. People know this. I want people to know
So
this.
I've been also doing a lot of work with
Live. It's a
uh,
paid audience.
yeah, there you go. That's a paid. What was that question?
Go ahead.
MPP Chris Wong-Tam and MPP Chris Glover, they've been very heavy on the Billy Bishop Airport issues.
I like Chris Glover.
Yeah,
He's a
he's
super
totally good
yeah,
guy.
he's a good
But
when
I've
they
been-
got the COVID, I was so mad. I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was so worried. I was like, oh my god.
And he's a tall guy too.
Yeah,
He's really
great hair,
tall.
yeah.
they've been doing a lot of work in the Billy Bishop Airport thing, and I've been involved in all those meetings, every single one of them. So it was actually, I remember correctly, it was either May 5th or May the 6th of this year.
Mhm.
So right after we signed up for a council, I was getting recognized at Queen's Park by him. He was doing sort of like a filibuster speech on it, right?
And what did he say?
And he was just doing a speech for like a half an hour. There's 60 other people as well, right?
Yeah.
60 or 70 people he recognized.
Yeah.
But my name was actually read in Queen's Park, and I was like, this is freaking cool.
Nice.
So on my way down there, I was stopped by a gentleman at, what's the barbershop called? Michael's Barbershop. And it was a gentleman named Ronald. And I said, yeah, what's the issue? He recognized me. I said, what's the issue, man? He goes, yo, man, you see the two no standing signs pond there?
Is this your accent?
Yeah, sort of.
You sound good. That's just
But
pretty
it's-
good.
Oh, wait till I got a couple of wagwans coming out of me. But yeah, so he was saying that it was a problem with two no standing signs. Long story short of it is,
Tell me what a new standing signs are.
so the no standing signs were placed in the vicinity of bus
Are
stops.
those the signs that go like this?
No, they're like the white square signs, but they're traffic signs. They're for
Okay.
traffic cops,
Are
right?
they
Parking
on the
enforcement.
ground or what?
Yeah, they're usually on the edge of the sidewalk by
Oh, okay.
by the roadway.
Yeah.
And this particular spot, it was so that you could keep the flow of traffic going because there were bus stops there.
Okay.
But since we got to Crosstown in February of this year, finally after 40-something years, and I'll get into that in a second, but he was saying that it's a problem because all the customers were getting $190 tickets and shit, right?
Yeah.
And he explained a little more to me, and he explained how the lovely Little Jamaica BIA gentleman couldn't get the job done. He
Who's that?
explained, yeah, his name might be on the contact list for the candidates
Oh,
here.
it's good to mention. You know, tell the full story. Don't leave the names out.
Ronald McDonald. No, Jason.
Jason McDonald.
Yes, so
Okay.
lovingly, I say that fooling around. I've talked to Jason, but Jason McDonald was the BIA guy for
Of that
Little
area?
Jamaica.
Okay, yeah.
You also have Mike Cole, who has been there forever,
Yeah.
since before I was born, probably. And you also have right across the street, Josh
You say
Matlow.
he's the first guy who put the plug in electricity.
I don't even think there was electricity. I think we had one
When
of
it's
those
starting
box
to,
streets.
when they had it, when you brought electricity to the war, I'm aging, I'm sorry.
Mike,
I'm kidding, Mike.
I'm your friend, buddy.
I like you, Mike.
But yeah, no, he was just explaining to me that they couldn't get those signs out. It's been years and years. Everybody tried to do 311 reports. And
So how do you
everything.
get rid of the signs? Just get them out of the
Get
way?
them
or-
taken out
Yeah.
because there's no buses there anymore.
Yeah.
Because of Crosstown, they took out the bus stop, so there's no need for the no standing
Yeah.
sign.
What were they like permanent signs or?
Yeah,
what?
they're permanent street
So
signs.
who puts them out there every day?
I believe it's transportation responsible for it, but because of the things going on with the Crosstown,
Yeah.
it had something to do with one of the project managers or something. So that's why people couldn't get it done because they didn't know who to contact.
Mhm.
So right away, I knew who to contact.
Who'd you
because
contact?
I'm not giving away my secrets right now. I'll give
No,
it
no,
away.
but
I'll give it away
you
after
know
the
about it, yeah,
election.
yeah.
But yeah, no, people were contacted that.
So you did
See,
some
I
time.
take the approach that I want to get things done, hopefully, before having to put a motion through.
Yeah.
So I contacted people in transportation and the TTC
Yeah.
and 311, just like anybody else
Yeah.
could. Anybody in the public could do it. It's not like I called in a favor or
Yeah.
something. And so I contacted them, and I was just going down there on May the 11th or May 12th, the following week, to tell the gentleman, listen, man, nobody's gotten back to me. I'm sorry, man, I couldn't do it for
Yeah.
you. Because I want to be honest with people.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. And I came walking up to the barber shop, and here was the city workers starting to cut down the signs.
Oh, really?
So they were cutting it down, and so I was going to tell the guy, hey,
You
listen, I
couldn't get
couldn't
nothing
do it.
in it, so really.
And I said to the lady, I didn't know her in particular, but I
Well,
said
the,
to
the worker?
The worker, one of the workers was a lady, right, and two gentlemen. And I said to the lady, I said, can I ask you, like, why you guys are doing this? Like, what? And she said, a call was made by somebody to such and such, and they determined that it was to be taken down. And I was just like, it touched my heart because I was like, holy crap. The first thing I tried to do, and it gets done.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want a person like that as your local counselor, who's supposed to be the caretaker?
And how long
of the
again
neighborhood?
did they be waiting for this to get done?
Well, Jason, I think, has been involved with the BIA for 3 years, 3 or 4
No,
years.
how long these
Well, it
took.
took me six or 7 days to get them done.
And how long did we wait to get this done?
Well, like I was saying,
Jason.
Jason has been the BIA guy for about 3 years
Yeah.
this time, and Mike Cole has been there since Santa Claus first landed on the moon,
So
right?
they know this for 3 years now?
Over.
Over 3 years.
Over.
So
But it didn't become an issue until February.
Yeah.
Because February is when the bus stops were taken out.
Yeah.
So it would have been a few months, right? But it was a continued story of at previous couple years.
No.
These guys couldn't get it done. I got it done in less than a week without having to make a motion.
And you're not even paid.
Not even paid, don't even care.
Yeah.
Don't even care.
How
But
does
yet
it
it
feel?
was done.
How's it feel?
Again, it's one of those
when you
things.
got shocked, eh?
It's one of those things in your heart that you just go, it screws with your brain a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Your heart.
Because
just
you're
goes,
expecting,
wow.
like, just like you're walking away,
I was
and you
going
got
there.
a apartment call, just like that, right?
I was,
Well, kind
I
of.
was going there to give them the bad news.
Yeah, and you get, it's like a movie.
So I don't know, guys,
Good episode.
if you want somebody that looks good or just wants to sit around for another 40 years, you know who to vote for.
Let's
But
get,
if you,
let's get descriptive since you're talking about that. I mean, you're being very humble right now. But the part of the fact of the matter is, this is a pure example of the crap that's not going on in the city that we should be doing.
Yeah.
The fact that they have an incumbent that's sitting there now going for re-election once again,
yeah.
and you got a guy named, I'm not gonna say, I never read it, McDonald, no, I don't know about but they're saying that they're aware of the situation, right? The complaints have been there.
Yes, so one of the candidates is the Little Jamaica BIA.
So it took them less than, what, a couple of days to get this done, and they're waiting how long?
6-7 days.
So that tells you right there. They're not
Well,
listening.
this is what frustrates me because you got both BIA gentlemen
Yeah.
who could be nice people. I don't know them that well. I only met them this year. But you got the two BIAs that should be joining each other and helping out the
Exactly, yeah.
whole community, who have, I wouldn't totally say failed.
Were the people that complained, were they told by these guys that, okay, we're in the matter, we put a report, and were they going on that?
All you ever hear and all I've ever seen on any videos and anything that I've checked online
Yeah.
is that we weren't able to do this.
Okay.
You got Josh Matlow and Mike Cole also saying we weren't able to complete this. Well, if you weren't able to complete that in 40-something years,
Yeah.
and just as an example, Jason, if you couldn't complete something within 3 years, how dare you ask the community for their vote?
Yeah.
How the hell are the community supposed to trust you when you haven't been able to get the job
You seen
done?
my videos, right?
All
So
of
I
them.
mentioned
All of
about the way back. Remember I called the report card from all
Mhm.
council, right? It's a perfect example. So this is what they had. So
I'm
they
one for one.
Yeah, they complain, right? To
Mhm.
the councilor, BIA. You get it in writing, you sign it, I'm gonna look into that.
Mhm.
Here's the evidence right there. Because all I can say I'll put my word in, nothing was done.
Mhm.
Right? That has to be signed out, and nothing was done. Like the city will say, we can't get it, I want that evidence. So they go to you, the resident, I'm sorry, I tried, but here's the evidence. I did try, but they said no.
Mm-hmm.
Or I didn't try, but I know there's no evidence, right? So the report card, like I said, I think you agree with that. I think every 6 months, like we go to school, you report your student, you should report your counselor. So every 6 months, say you're a counselor now. Okay, Mr. Daniel Trayes, here's my report card. You get on the internet, it's free, it's on your name. Did he return all calls?
Mm-hmm.
Was the promise committed? Was he at every event? Just 3 examples right there. It says, this, next 6 months, so come the time of the election, they're gonna look and say, hey, Daniel Trayes, 800 calls, how many did you try? 5 back. Well, I don't want that kind of guy. But do you know what I mean? You need to answer for that.
Well,
And
that-
you should
that-
be. If they want you to vote them in, you are answerable to the people that vote you in, right?
I don't know about
And
the
no $250 dinner.
timeline. Yeah, no $250 dinners. Plus, I'd never do that.
Also,
to you
Richard's
guys.
come up, it's a different story.
Yeah, my birthday's 1 week before the election. All I want is
that's
to
right.
hear. All I want is to hear the words, "Your next city councilor for
Yeah,
Ward 8,
exactly.
Daniel
But
Trayes."
you agree-
But yeah, the one good thing I was taught by
Yeah.
Councillor Ainsley and his staff, the great Antoinette. I almost said her full name, but I'll address them: Antoinette, Alex, Jennifer,
Mhm.
and all the supporting staff, because those were the full-time people. Helen, too, the secretary
Yeah.
down at City Hall. One thing that Paul Ainsley was very key on was getting back to the constituents within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Whether it was an answer you wanted to hear or an answer that you didn't get the answer you wanted, we were always taught to get back to the people and be honest with the people. Don't bullshit, because they're going to smell it out, right?
Mhm.
So when it comes to certain issues, I'd be agreeable to that. I don't care. I got nothing to hide. I told you I'm going to be the most transparent counselor and piss off a lot of my colleagues, but it's going to be for the benefit of the community, right? So certain things should be reported on, whether it be quarterly or yearly or, like you said, 6 months, whatever. Certain things don't need to be.
Yes.
And if you wish to chomp down my throat just because I wasn't able to do what you wanted, that's a you problem.
Yeah. But you're sure return all calls. Right?
Absolutely. Even if
So-
it's a person calling you names.
I know you like Councilor, he's a nice guy, I met him too, many times. And so, did you ever ask Councilor Ainsley, you're amazing, you like him a lot, and he answers to people. So you ever ask him, why, not putting the other people in, but why can't the others do what you're doing? You know? Why can't you be like,
There
the
seems-
county council, you should be like that?
So from my experience down there, the total of, as I am probably the only candidate other than Mike that's had a pink card, and what that is the employee card for City Hall.
Yeah.
My experience is just laziness.
Laziness?
You get some people, like you have mentioned before in your videos, who are just so used to being there at City Council, and it's been, 3 decades for some of them.
Yeah.
And they just get, they
Complacent?
feel, and they feel safe
Safe.
doing minimal.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Whereas, we've all made fun of Rob Ford, rest in peace, he was a friend of mine.
And you do return everybody's calls, I remember that.
You
I remember-
return everybody's
when
calls.
I ran my campaign, I remember that, so I did
Yeah.
the same thing.
Now, granted, it's
I remember I heard he used to call people 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
He was
he's
hilarious.
done it to me before.
Yeah, he was
2:30
hilarious.
in
But
the
he-
morning.
Yeah, he did return a phone call.
I remember
It's
getting a
amazing,
phone
yeah.
call one time,
It's
2:30 in the morning, Dan, where's my car? But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have on this municipal level, you have to be there for the people. If you're not there for the community in a genuine manner, you're not gonna get shit. So all these guys that are focused on their BIA members helping them, maybe the incumbent might or might not, be using city staff to help out in this campaign. That's fine. People are gonna smell it.
Yeah.
And they'll see it by the next time it comes to voting time. And people can sit there. One guy told me, well, why do you complain about Mike Cole sign being up? Everybody loves him. I don't care who everybody loves. You can have an I love Mike Cole sign up. Just Mike Cole as an example because he's the incumbent. You can have that up in your window all you want. Until October 1st, you cannot have re-elect this person or
Yeah,
elect.
that's right.
Elect or re-elect, you cannot. I can put up signs all over the neighborhood saying Daniel Trayes, as long as it doesn't say vote, elect, or re-elect. And that's what they tried to do. And to me, it's not shady, but it's stupid.
Seems
Because you've had 44
You
years
seem
of
kind of
practice.
desperate too?
Very
Yeah,
desperation. So I'm gonna let, signs don't vote. I'm gonna let the people decide on October 26th, and hopefully they get out and vote early too on the 6th to 11th. That's the advance polls. But it's gonna be up to them. All I can do is control myself and what I do in the community.
Yes.
I'm not focused on the other people. I'm focused on Daniel Trayes and Ward 8, Eglinton Lawrence constituents.
Let's talk about something we did off camera before.
Uh-oh.
No, it's good,
Yeah,
it needs
yeah.
to be discussed. I mean, the photos with the Jewish shootings and all that, you were there, right? You can explain that.
Well, some of that is happening in my neighborhood.
Yep.
I say my neighborhood.
Your ward.
That's what I hate.
Yeah.
No, I don't even like to say my ward.
What do
It's
you say?
our ward.
Our ward.
Exactly, and our ward contains the area of Bathurst Street. I don't know if there's a name for it, but it's the community where most of the Jewish community from Toronto is.
Mhm.
That is in our ward, Ward 8. We ourselves up there have had a couple of shootings at schools, and I think there was a firebombing and stuff like that. I am not personally going to get in the middle of the whole free this or get rid of it. I'm at a human level. Everybody deserves safety. Everybody deserves respect. I don't care what religion you are, what color your skin is, what your sexuality is, or orientation. I don't care. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole, and it's not because of your skin color or your religion. So I want to focus on everybody in the community, which includes the Jewish community. One thing that really bothers me, and it's outside of our area, but we're still a community together, is what happens up at Bathurst and Shepherd every frickin' week.
So,
The whole flag waving on the corner and yelling at cars, and
what flag are we waving?
you don't know about all this stuff up there in the
No,
corner?
I know, I want to tell the
Yeah,
camera.
yeah. Oh, I thought you don't know. I was like, you had me convinced
No,
there.
people are watching, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
I
no.
know.
So ever since the incident happened, where was it? In Israel?
Yeah.
On October 7th,
Yes,
that
yeah,
time?
yeah.
Ever
It's-
since that
yeah,
day,
that tragedy day, yeah.
every Sunday it's been horn honking this,
Yeah.
flag waving that. I'm all for a good protest.
Yeah.
I will even support some of them. But when you're doing it on the corner of the street and then starting to intrude yourself into people's homes
Well, let's
and
talk about
neighborhoods,
that, right?
yeah, that's a
There's
no-go
all these
for me.
protests going on, and I've seen the other councils protesting about the Jewish community, all these protests, walking around with flags and all that.
Mm.
So as a councillor, I totally disagree with that. We're a Toronto neighborhood, you come from different countries, you wanna bring your politics, that's fine. But you wanna inflict your pressure on somebody in the public, in a quiet neighborhood, as a councillor, what would you do to stop that? And obviously, they're not doing enough right now. They're not doing enough.
I would focus on it from a safety perspective
Yeah,
as
exactly.
opposed to who you're going to piss piss off and
Yeah.
what religious group you're going to piss off. I'm sorry, like I said before, I don't care what religion you are.
Yeah.
You're a person to me. I see you as a person. I'll respect your religion. If I'm in your house of worship, I will do whatever I have to do, put on a turban or a yarmulke or whatever, and embrace where I am.
But now some of the countries now, I don't know if the states are doing it too, they're banning, making laws banning protesting, sitting on streets, blocking, waving flags. Now they're getting more extreme now.
I'm
This is what's happening.
50-50 with that, right? Because the streets should be used by all citizens.
Well, let's talk about the Jewish community. There's an uprising. I got a lot of Jewish friends, as you know, right?
So for
there's been a lot of, it just keeps increasing. Well, we just had it last week, the last incident, 3 weeks in a row. So, you as a counselor, you've been in that community for your ward, or say our ward, what can we do to get this? We got to decrease it. It's ridiculous. Nothing's done.
So for me, it would have to be pure community consultation.
Yeah.
I'm not religious. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Catholic.
But
I'm
still,
not.
these are citizens
So
of the
that's
day.
why I would need the community consultation, because I can tell you from the safety aspect, because I have experience with the Toronto Police Service. I can tell you from a bylaw aspect as per where they can occupy. I don't know how they occupy that corner there, because those boulevards are run by the city
Has
of
there
Toronto.
been any, has been any community consultation after these incidents? Like, has there been any town halls after these things? Offhand?
I personally don't know every single one, because it does happen outside of our neighborhood, but I have been paying
But in your
attention.
neighborhood, like, have you thought about doing it yourself? Like in a place that let's talk,
That hasn't happened yet.
Well,
I'm not against it. I would do it.
Yeah, but you think you do it yourself? I mean, you're running for council.
Oh
right?
yeah, I would participate in it.
Yeah.
But
Just an idea. I just thought of
yeah,
you, right?
I would want the community to come to
A lot
me.
of people know who you are.
Yeah.
Here's Daniel Trayes running a consultation of what happened to the events here. There's no, was any crisis, the police any crisis organization to help with what's going on in the community?
Oh, what's the name of the one?
Yeah, I just talked to somebody about that the other day.
Shamrim or something.
Yeah,
If you look it up.
Yeah.
They were involved in the search for the little girl that went missing, Esty.
Yes.
That happened again just north of our area. I'm not sure who the counselor there is. I think it's James Pasternak.
Okay.
But anything north of the 401 is a different area,
Yeah.
right? But again, when it comes to safety aspect, the Toronto Police issues, the bylaws, stuff like that, I'd be able to help right away off the top of my head.
Okay.
When it comes to the direct issues, I would want community consultation, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you how I'm going to do something that I know nothing about.
Well,
I'm not Jewish.
Suppose somebody watches this video from your community and say, hey, that's a good idea. What did you do? Goes, hey, Daniel, I saw an interview. Why don't you do a consultation? It's not been done right now.
Okay, so set up the consultation and I'll come to
like
the
somebody like yourself. Would you do it yourself?
I
think
would want to
we
do
could,
it with, but I would want to do it with the community as a whole, because
Yeah,
I'm not part of that religion. I'm not part of those people.
Yeah.
But we are all human.
It doesn't
So
mean you have to be part of the religion. You're
no,
you're
but
leader,
I'm saying I would want the community to come with.
Oh, I
because-
mean, you mean the representative on that?
Yes,
yeah, I
different
yeah,
synagogues
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like
that's
that.
very,
Yes,
yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The other stuff, absolutely, I'd have no problem
Yeah.
starting one up.
And you have a conversation, talk what's going on, come with ideas,
Yeah, no, I just meant about the direct issues.
Oh,
not-
no,
Yeah, all that other
Let's
stuff.
say you you have a few months left to run here. That's an
Well,
idea.
and that's what I'm saying, 3 months down, 3 months to go, right?
Yeah.
So, what bothers me is that both of those counselors that are in that area, which includes Mike Cole, and again, I think it's James Pasternak.
correct, yes.
They've been there forever.
Yeah.
Both of them have been there for more than 15 years. Why, is this not something that was thought
Well,
about
something made
before?
us think about the last press conference they're running with the last shooting,
Mhm.
and the counselor interrupted and started yelling and shooting. So people, I yell at people, so people, what is he doing all the yelling for? He does nothing. I'm not saying, I don't know what he does, but.
I think he's just frustrated and scared that he's losing his seat. Sorry,
Yeah.
Mike Cole.
Well,
But,
I'm glad you mentioned that, because right now, this election is very important, not just for the incumbents, but the city.
Well, this is
A
what
lot
I'm
of people
hearing.
already opened their eyes. They saw the last by-election in Ward 25, they weren't happy with the results.
Well, that's what I'm hearing too, is the number one tagline seems to be time for change.
You know,
Time for change.
You know, Ron from Sun is Scarborough United Neighbors. I think you met Ron. No?
I'm not sure.
But he started Sun. This is a couple years, it's fairly new, 2 years ago. Sun is called Scarborough United Neighbors. That's that area. So he's flabbergasted by the amount of people residents call him. Another one's called Cotra, COTRA. Look that up.
Them I've heard.
Yeah, and they're getting also inundated with all these complaints and all that stuff. And this has to be done.
Why do you give me homework?
I'm not. I'm helping you out here. I'm helping all my candidates.
Yeah, no, Contra.
No, I'm getting all my. Not just you, I'm getting all my candidates. If you
Contra
haven't
I've heard of.
I threw things at all my
Sun I
candidates.
haven't heard of.
Yeah.
No.
Look, yeah, just to get involved. But these are
Mhm.
just pissed off residents, they're tired. This is why this election is very important. I guarantee, if any of these incumbents, I got nothing against them, but I think it's time to move on. It's
So-
time, it's 12 of them still in there, that are, and one hasn't put his name in yet, but he probably will. I don't know what position yet, but the fact of the matter is, you know, why you're running again.
I believe in term limits. So
Yeah,
myself
yeah.
personally,
Yeah.
my plan, the plan going forward, if graced with the election, this election here, I would do 2 total terms.
Yeah.
And after that, I would be like, okay, after 2 terms, I need to make a decision whether I want to run for mayor or retire.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. So that's another, I don't want to say promise because I'm not promising. I'm giving you my word.
Yeah.
I will not run for more than 2 terms of office. So if I'm lucky enough to be elected and re-elected, I would decide whether to run for mayor or then retire. I'm not going to be here when I'm 80 years old. That shit ain't happening.
It's happening right
No,
now.
thank you. I don't mind helping out, but going forward, it's going to be the young people, and it's so cliche.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the young people who are the ones that are going to be there in the future.
Exactly, yeah.
Not me.
That's right.
So it's your future. I'm good right now. I'm good. It might not be perfect, but it's your future, your home. Do what you will.
So a question that you talk about mental illness and all the things you've gone through, say the illness, mental issues. What would you do as a council to increase funding for mental health? We know it's out there. I've been on the streets. People with problems, addictions, they get arrested, they go to the hospital, they go detox, they're back on the streets again. Same thing with
So part of the problem is that there's so many different aspects of mental health, like you just mentioned,
Yeah,
whether
exactly.
it's addictions and so forth. So right now, one thing I don't know why I haven't mentioned in this last 3 hours that we've been sitting here, but I actually sit on the board of directors for what's called the
Has it been
Inner
3 hours?
I don't know what time it is.
I brought my razor just
Well,
in
maybe
case.
an
I brought my
hour and a
razor
half.
just in case I have to go.
Apparently I didn't. No, but I sit on the board of directors for something called the Inner City Family Health Team.
Okay.
And what we're responsible for doing is making the decisions, and they both have a mandate from both the provincial and municipal government.
Yeah.
So.
Can you explain what that is to people?
Yeah, exactly.
What is that?
So,
What is inner city? What is that?
so what they do is they handle all homeless housing issues.
Yep.
And also like some of the, I don't know the proper terms for nowadays, so please don't hate me people, but some of the sex workers downtown.
Yeah.
So it basically covers from Spadina, Fort York, over to the Don River.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how far north they go. I think it's Bloor.
Okay.
And all the way down, right? They run the clinic that's near St. Mike's Hospital and such. So I sit on that board of directors making decisions every day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what part of the problem is there's too much of an overturn when it comes to the government. So one year you'll have one,
Mhm.
the next year you'll have another, for example, in our area.
Yeah.
We have a known NDP mayor now. We have a PC MPP, and we have a Liberal MP.
Yeah.
So the decisions don't generally work out too well together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just contribute in that way, making the decisions on how, I think the budget's something like $5 million a year or something. So we just make those decisions year after year. And I've been doing that for about 7 years now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's totally volunteering. I just so happened to run into a friend of mine that I was homeless with back in the day during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought me on that board of directors. Now he's gone and I'm still there now. Sorry, 6 years.
6 years,
Not
yeah.
7, yes.
So
So
how
that's
have the results been since you've been on there?
up and down.
Yeah.
It's too small of a purse. You'd think $5 million is great, or $10 million. I don't even remember what the budget was last time. It was either, I remember 5.8 or 10.8, whatever. And either way, it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So what we need is, and I'm not, well, I am tooting my own whistle. This is the campaign, man.
That's
Let's
right.
do it. Toot
Your
that
whistle,
whistle.
yeah.
So what we need is more people in the community with lived experience
Yep.
that are willing to do that. And I say free work because it's a volunteer position. I'm not getting paid to be on that board of directors. We need more people with that lived experience to share their stories, because you can have every issue from immigration to, I don't know, a drug addiction, where immigration is helped federally, and a drug addiction would be either provincially for treatment or municipal for, like, say, a housing issue or something, you know? So we need people to volunteer for those positions. So all I can suggest is for people to look at community groups that might pertain to your aspect of what your issue is. Like maybe you're bipolar and maybe I got an addiction issue.
Yeah.
Look to those various areas and join a group where you can share your information, and that way everybody learns what they need to learn, as opposed to being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
if you got an addiction issue, what the hell do you need to hear about immigration and you know, suicide and all that? You know, it's your addiction. You need help.
Yeah.
Key component for me, what I learned from my lived and work experience, housing is key. There's been so many years that we haven't focused on housing. How many years back did the province downloaded the housing portfolio in the city, and it's just gone to shit. Let's be real. It's gone to rat shit.
Well, look at BC, Toronto Community Housing. My dad worked for Ontario Housing, I told you that many years back in Canada. And he retired and died in Ontario Housing, became Metro. And back then, there was so much availability. Now, look at it.
I
think he retired. I think he had like over 50 buildings outstanding back then. We were now look at it, like what, 13 left. You know?
So I waited 11 and a half, 12 and a half years to get housing. I currently, in full disclosure, I currently live in TCHC.
Yeah.
So it's I have a rent here to income designation, which you get from the provincial government,
Yep.
and it just so happens that TCHC accepted me, and that's where I live now. When I win this election, I will be moving to the building, but I'll be staying in Ward 8A with Lawrence. But you're right, that so much has been let go for so many years.
Remember that building during Tory's last reign? That building they had to condemn it. The ceiling fell. Luckily they didn't kill anybody, but the ceiling fell down. I remember it was like
Swansea News?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Swansea. Yeah,
They had some buildings and some.
And the amount of
townhomes.
complaints. I looked at them when I ran for mayor. So I had contacts out a lot. The complaints have been going there since 2013.
Well, look at what just happened at $500 Road.
Well, yeah, we met the guy, right?
We met the guy,
Getting
Ryan.
Warren's lunch.
I can't remember his last
I'm going to
name,
interview
but
him one day. Ryan, you guys know Ryan?
He is awesome.
Yeah.
I've watched some of his videos after
Can
that.
you tell the detail how he got involved, how long it took to get that done?
Yeah. Look how many years it was. I remember visiting their friends back when I was homeless.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if it was the same landlord, but it was definitely the same issues.
So you got
problems.
jail time, 13 days plus.
Yeah.
Now, have you talked to Ryan recently? He's telling now that
I haven't talked to him recently, but I watched
so
his
now the
videos.
fire service now are involved putting their investigation.
Yeah.
That's additional charge. It could be more jail time.
They'll
This is a
combine
precedent.
it all.
So as a counselor, they're really good landlords. I'm gonna say they are good ones, but they're really bad ones like that.
There is some shit.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I just got my balcony back after 3.5 years of
What do you
waiting.
mean, which one you balcony?
So when I moved into the building, that was the year that they wanted to start with all the capital projects, and then COVID hit, right?
Yeah.
So 2023, somewhere around there, they actually started the capital project. It was the balconies, the vending system, what have you. I brought my dog home at 2 months old, he was.
Yeah.
He's now 3.5. And we got my balcony back a month ago.
Wow.
So little things like that, or like I was telling you before we went on camera, the poor little baby, the 4-month-old baby, whose mother had some mental health issues, and I'm not going to dwell on it because I don't want to use the death of a baby to promote a campaign, but it has to be said one time. This poor 4-month-old baby, I was in the, I was going to say the balcony, in the elevator with him the night before.
Oh, you saw it.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Yeah,
Cute
yeah.
little baby,
Yeah.
4-month-old boy, nice black kid, curly hair, oh, buddy. And the next day, he's dead. And it's all because, well, obviously it was a choice the mother made, but it was because of mental health issues that she was having, that she was getting no support for. And Mike Cole, the incumbent who I'm running against now, came there that day and hasn't been back since. So we need to work on stuff like this in the community, and like we said earlier, probably 10 times now, if you haven't experienced it, how the hell are you going to help me? You're not. So that's why on October 26th, I'm going to make a prediction here on your interview on your show. October 26th, I am going to be your next city councilor in Ward 8, but it's going to be a vote split. The vote is going to be split. I believe it's going to be split 4 ways, not 5. And I'm not going to tell you which candidate I'm leaving out because that's not fair to them. But it is going to be a total vote split. And what it's all about is polling the vote. So whoever comes out to vote October 6th to 11th, and then October 26th, there's your next city council.
Okay. So back to if there's more community, say, groups, the woman that hurt her baby, if there's an availability out there with this no, you think it would make a difference? I mean, it's to your sake, but just in the future.
So
in the future, if she's by herself, like you said, you're by yourself back
yeah.
then.
So the issue.
But even back then, when you were going through your stuff way back, there was nothing around for you, right?
No, so I became homeless in the days that good old Mike Harris came into town.
Yeah.
And if you recall anything about Mike Harris, I don't know if you were here or not. You've been here all your life, right?
Yeah.
So Mike Harris basically in the late 90s or whatever it was, cut literally everything in half.
Yeah.
Your checks were in half, services were in half. So that's where I got lost in the flow, because people would say, you're at a shelter, why aren't you getting housing? You should be getting housing. But what happened was my letter kept being returned to sender. So I actually was offered housing in 2005. I didn't receive it until 2016.
See what I mean?
So there's got to be that planning together, working together. Again, I don't like the PC party. I'll tell you straight, Doug. I don't like what you're doing with our province. I think you're an asshole. But it just so happens that we have PC MVP. And if I want to make things work in Ward 8 Eglinton Lawrence, unfortunately, I don't believe the next provincial election is until 2029, something like that. I'm going to have to work with her on the issues. And I've already met her. And I plain out told her, we will never agree on the Billy Bishop Airport thing. I think that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. But I'm willing to work with you on the issues that matter to the community as a whole. Anything else, that's your problem.
You talk about students. What do you do to promote students, kind of like homelessness, students, runaways, homeless alone? And how many? Do you know how many there are places where students go to when they run away? Is there any award you know offhand? I can't think of it right now. No.
I don't know,
I know
of
there's
any
proposals
of
in the
the.
past, but they didn't carry out with them.
Yeah, I don't know of any of the shelters, because during my shelter times, I wasn't around there for shelters. I was always in the downtown core.
Yeah.
I know there's, like I said, I might have mentioned to you off camera or on camera, I can't remember, it doesn't matter. But there's a great program that is going on right now up in Lawrence Heights. And what it is, they converted one of the townhomes or 7th bar now. And it's totally dedicated to the youth. So the youth will come in, they'll learn cooking classes, because it's an actual townhouse.
Is it like the residents too, or just,
No, it's just a community like hub for the community. And basically it's somewhere where the kids can go and learn how to cook, learn personal skills, how to deal with people. When I went the other day, there's another community center being built up there in the next 3 years. So what they were doing was the kids were in the process of writing down their ideas, what they wanted at the community center. So they're going to keep that hub, but they're going to focus on, I don't know where it is, Neptune Avenue or something, but a new community center that's supposed to be 2030. And so you need to continue with programs like that. You have to get it to a point where shelters aren't needed. You're going to need it for some people. There's some extreme cases.
Exactly what you said. They want to need 20 shelters in the next 20 years. 20 shelters.
It's crazy. We got. I know of one that's going in at Caledonia and Eglinton there. Just so happens to be on the street right next door to my brother's place.
Oh yeah.
Where my 12-year-old
Is it like
niece
a building or what?
Yeah, they're building a shelter 2 doors in from the corner. So they're focusing on putting them where transit is accessible and all that. But the planning is so. I'm not just saying it for my 12-year-old niece. I know there's more kids that live around that area. There's more single-family homes, right?
What's the shelter consisting? Is it you get your own room, or was it?
It varies from shelter to shelter. Some are dorms, some are bunk beds. Some have programs where you can stay in during the day. Some have programs where you got to get the hell out of there. I remember visiting places like we are right now, 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 p.m. And you don't come back because most of the people were able-bodied.
Did you get the Salvation Army truck come play around?
Yeah, of course.
They come by in the morning.
But
they always give you your porridge, they give you a Bible, a little Bible reading, and then they give you whatever.
I've stayed in every single shelter in the city of Toronto. It's nothing to be proud of, but I want to share with people, except for the Good Shepherd. I never went to the Good Shepherd only to eat, but because they had a curfew. So they had a 5:30 curfew, and no, get out of here.
You see what they did in New York, Los Angeles, and some other cities in the States? They're not called shelter housing now. They created that you have your own bedroom, your own room, maybe your own bathroom, you have your own space, like a little apartment. It's small, but your own space. It's in a building.
There's some shelters here that do have
that. Yeah. I think we gotta get rid of the word shelter. It's just it's a word we still use all the time. We should call it house, like low income housing, like assisted housing, whatever,
Well, that's the problem. For all these decades, they've been treated, and they do need to treat it like a business, because the city's a corporation. The city is a business. So you do got a budget and all that shit. But unfortunately, for the past, I'd say, guesstimating 3-4 decades, they've treated it only as a business, only for the workers, which are important people. They do need to be paid well and taken care of. But they've left out the focus on getting people housing and building more housing. I think it was when we amalgamated. I think that's when the housing portfolio was handed over to the city. And it's just too overwhelming for them now. So they need to focus on the workers. They need to focus on operating costs and I gotta curse less.
Yeah.
Operating costs and stuff like that, but the focus needs to be about people now. And until they do that, it's never gonna change. The number's always gonna go up.
You ever met Drew? You know Drew? You remember Drew?
Yeah, I know
So, you
Drew.
know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you ever see his videos?
He's got a bad throwing arm, but I won't elaborate, Drew. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, exactly.
I was,
get that.
I was there for that.
Did you, you remember? I seen it in one of the videos. He was being harassed and one of the fellas. They kept coming into the room and all that.
I did
You
see
watch
that video. I did see
I was
that
like,
video.
I was like, what the heck are you doing that
I
for?
saw the one where they came in and he was in his bed.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was a few years ago
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I remember you did that. I was like, this is what's going on.
Yeah, no,
He
I
did the
had-
inside school, what's going on in the shelter.
Yeah, no, I used to be at some protests.
Because he
with
made an
them.
announcement, this thing, oh, you're making it out, y'all full. So he actually did the video. It shows it. Yeah, I remember.
No, it's
I was
absolutely
getting
true.
mad. I was sitting there going, again, come on. What's this guy's doing?
Yeah, no, I used to know those people through during the time where I wasn't working at City Hall between my break of 2020 to 22 or whatever. I knew some of those people.
Yeah.
And I may have been at a protest or two, but you know, that's just what happened. I don't dog their efforts. We need that. We need voices to, because some people don't want to run for council or what have you, right? They don't, and I get it. But we need people to voice their stuff. They have to do it in an appropriate way. Because I'm not about to waste my time. If I'm going to yell at you for housing or for ODSP doubling the rates or anything like that, I'm going to yell at you and make you hear it.
I'm saying we're waste your time. We're going to get in trouble saying it's okay. Waste your time. Okay, these protests, pro this, pro that, that's fine. My question is, what's the result after all these things in the last 3 years? What's the result?
When I see people running around saying death to Canada,
Yeah, no.
no. I'll give you a perfect example. I'll shut up about it. Just the other day, there was some of those, I'll say those protesters, because I don't know what to call them. I don't call them protests. I think it's stupid now. But that's just my opinion. I'm allowed to have my opinion. I don't care about the voting. I'm giving you real life. There was a gentleman, I think he was waving an Iranian, do you say Iranian or Persian? I don't know.
No, well, when you ask them what the friend, they version, it's Iranian.
Yeah, so the flag,
Yeah.
their flag, he's waving it outside the U.S. consulate or whatever. Somebody's walking by, and they have like a partial United States flag with something to do with Trump on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy waving the Iranian flag is calling the guy waving the Trump flag a traitor and everything. And I'm going, are you guys in Canada? Isn't this Canada?
Yeah.
How's he a traitor to this country? He was saying he's a traitor to Canada. How's he a traitor to this country when he's not even waving a Canadian flag? Like, these are the parts that are frustrating people. We want to help everybody. We all know Canada helps. That's what we do. But when you're doing it for no reason,
So what's the result? You said it, waste your time.
there's got to be a result. There's all those protests that I participated in were either for housing or, like we were talking about earlier, one of our friends Isabella there
Yeah.
with the campaigns for doubling
She was
the ODSP.
Isabel Gank ran for mayor back in 2022. I met her in 2023,
Yeah.
but you know her before me.
Yes.
She was.
I knew her from
the,
about 2020.
She was, I would say, personally, from my knowledge, you couldn't touch her in Howard. She knew everything about Howard. And half the people took her ideas, like, and I'm saying who ran the mayor with us, took her ideas and things as well. This is all cool.
Yeah, no, I have, and I told you earlier, I have a connection with her, I guess, for life. She unfortunately took Maine and left us back in November of 2024. But before she passed away,
And not about another guy I remember, what's his name? Mitchell Toy. I don't know if you met him. He ran for mayor as well.
sounds familiar.
I met him during.
If I said yes, I'd be lying.
Yeah, well, he has a pod. He only has a pod show called Live by Thread. He was on my show. I was on his show.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't have mental issues, and unfortunately, he took his life. Back to
Yeah.
mental health again, right? Nothing about the guy. I knew nothing about him. When the criminals came in, I didn't have these problems. He was such a smart, intelligent guy. He knew everything. Like, we're talking back and forth. You know, the way he did his conducting, the way he interviewed, the way if you watch the video, it's called By Thread. It's on the internet. By Threads on YouTube. And I interviewed on my podcast. But what do you think? That's the thing. You can't tell, right? You can't tell.
You don't know.
You can't tell. He's got you can't tell.
No, you don't know. It's just like Isabella. She was going through a lot of, you know, I won't get into it, but a lot of health issues and stuff
you know
going
what's
on.
going
But
on
she was,
behind
what,
the-
65 years old?
Yes.
And just before she passed, like I was telling you earlier, her puppies,
Yeah,
everybody knew Sparkles and Glisten.
Yeah.
I don't know which one was the female and which one was
I
the
never
male.
did guess.
I can't remember. But they had a litter of puppies,
Yeah.
and my dog is one of those puppies.
Yeah.
So I have that full lifetime, well, you know, until one of us passes, I have that lifetime and that memory. And like I was telling you earlier, I was sad that it ended on a kind of sour note that I wasn't able to make up for. But it is what it is. It's part of life. These things happen. All you can do is remember them. And like I said earlier, take your knowledge from each little bit that you use and come back with results. Don't, like, if you're just going to go there and go,
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to hear
they had a
it.
protest down last year or the year before at the Princess Gates. They were protesting there, and people were like honking, like, "What are you guys doing? Nobody comes down here." It's like one of the places that nobody goes in until it's open again. The seating. Princess Gates outside the CNE, and it's one of the back entrances. But there were protests down there, all wearing black. And I was like, people drove by, they were calling out, like, "What are you guys doing? Nobody goes there. There's nothing down here." So I was like, "What? That's guys are like a waste of time, right?"
It's like I say, it really, I don't remember the word I used earlier, but it frustrates me when I hear other candidates in this Ward 8 Eglinton Lawrence election, and they're calling themselves grassroots candidates. Nothing could be further from the truth. When you're coming there, if you go look at the person's page, okay, you're going to see all the talking points of Doug Ford. Just put money in your pockets. No bike lanes on main streets.
All the journalists.
How the hell are we supposed to get to work? What are you smoking, man? What are you talking about? So don't dare call yourself grassroots, because people like myself, yourself, and others throughout they call it protest mania or the protest circuit there. What's up, Karima? It gets to a point where it's just mouth. It's just mouth, and there's no results. I'm the kind of person, I want results. I'm not running in this election for Ward 8 councillor just to be noticed or to make $150,000 a year, even though that's going to be nice. But I'm in it to actually help the community.
You said somebody's incumbents put that they really think people want to hear, but not what people need, right?
Yeah, and half of them don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
There's not, I can't wait until the first candidate comes up to me and says they know more about housing or homelessness
Well,
than I do.
I
can't wait.
When we had our debates, though, we had UT. I don't know how about you guys, but they have all American.
I've been contacted actually by UFD.
And we took our chance, and one was on housing, so she was the thing on housing. Then came food security. They never had their thing, but mine was food security. And I had a good clap on the canvas for my knowledge of food security. Everybody had their own forte. When you came as your own, it's not yours, right?
Yeah, no, it's got to be a community effort. It's got to be a group effort. If it's not, what the hell are you doing? Like, who am I to say that I know even everything about housing and homelessness, right? I don't. I know most of it, but I don't know everything because I haven't been, for just as an example, I haven't been through what you've been through. You haven't been what I've been through. So if you work together and give it a grade A effort, as opposed to trying to act like a fake ass person, just for the sake of getting somebody to say, yeah, I'll vote for you. Because half of these people that are saying they're going to vote for you are not going to vote for you.
That's right,
So you got to take that into account and just treat everybody equally. Treat how you're treated and focus on what you want to do. My focus is on giving back to the community. It's why I was out the other day helping Chiara. Okay, those of you who don't know, Chiara Padavani is, I think, the shoe-in candidate for York Southwest in Ward 5.
She lost by 94 votes.
94 votes to a cheater.
Exactly.
I'll say it, to a cheater.
You know what happened. You know
I was right there. It was a cheater that didn't, it was more important to them to stick around in a position they were comfortable in as opposed to doing what was right for democracy. And when you're using voting lists illegally, or whatever the word is.
Explain to the people what's a voter list and why it's restricted and what's the access to it.
Well, I don't know the exact thing that she did, but the voters list is something we get that you can contact voters in your area, right? It's got everything from phone numbers to names to addresses on it. And if I remember correctly, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, so I won't go too deep into it. But I think she got it early or something, or used it inappropriately.
The campaign team used it up there.
Yeah, and it's just like signs. We can't put up a sign until October 1st, so even though it's been happening.
Like the voters list, mayor candidates get more information than you guys.
Yeah, because they have their own database.
Basically, we know who to vote. It says who you vote for. Address, numbers. It's all personal. But at the end of the campaign, you have to return that. Right?
Yeah, I've never used one before.
Yeah, I never used it myself.
Yeah,
they offer you sign up for it, but then you can't use it illegally and you're responsible for your campaign team, and you use it out of
Yeah.
context, and you get dinged for it, right?
Well, see, that's what a lot of people don't really
And that's what she
understand.
did. That's what she did, right?
A lot of the incumbents have already their own voter base. Like, one of my jobs in the Councillor Ainsley's office was to keep track of the voters and keep a separate, I think it was an Excel spreadsheet of all their numbers and addresses and everything, which is totally legal for a councillor to do. But then when you're using that list to further your campaign, which
Which she did.
I think some things are gonna be coming out about the current incumbent in Ward 8, Eglinton Lawrence as well. I'm not gonna say what, because I'm gonna let nature take its course. But there are times that he's using city staff to work on his campaign, and that's just a no-no.
Well, they've been used for years.
You know, exactly. So everybody asks me, oh, Mike Cole's doing this, but he's gonna win because everybody likes him. No, he's gonna win because he fucking cheated.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And I'm sorry to use that word, but it's
Everything
reality.
They were using before the run for council, before the last session of council, right? I told you before, they'd be using their positions as city council.
Absolutely.
They're doing all these photo-ops and all these stuff there. I mean,
Absolutely.
if you're being real with me, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you're doing it for a reason. It's now election time, right?
Well, I mean, if you're, if
We're
you're,
not saying you're running for council again, but once it's
Mhm.
over, you can't say it anymore, right?
like, I don't even have a problem, just as an example, because we're talking about our campaign in Ward 8, right? So even if Councillor, well, I don't think I can call him Councillor anymore, he's just Mike Cole now.
No, now, according to the city rules, the city clerk, now the new
Yeah.
rules, can't call yourself as a company, can't call yourself council, you have to be
Yeah.
now running candidate.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
candidate Cole,
Candidate Cole, yeah.
for
Yeah.
example, he's, I know offhand that he's got a hotel opening coming up in the next, either
yeah?
tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
Where's that?
Glen Hill and Bathurst or something like that. But anyway, the email that I saw was him inviting people as his day-to-day duties to this hotel opening, which, whatever, that's his day-to-day duties. But why are you doing that from your Gmail account that you set up for your campaign?
Yeah.
And at the bottom of the email, asking people to donate to your campaign.
Yeah.
That's a no-no. So there may or may not be some, integrity commissioner involvement coming up, but I'm going to leave that to the public to decide.
So who's going to invite the $250 pay people?
He put a listing. He did. He put a listing. So those that aren't aware, Mike Cole is part of the Liberal Party of Canada. That's
Yeah.
why you always hear him say elbows up. That's a Liberal
Oh,
Party
yeah,
of
yeah,
Canada
yeah,
thing.
yeah, elbows up,
Right?
yeah.
The PC lady is great.
Yeah.
So that's why she has all the taglines of Doug Ford this and Doug Ford that. Everything that he says, she has.
Yeah.
People don't realize that because it's under the guise of, oh, I'm just doing my job. Okay, well, I'm going to start to do my job. I got 3 months left. We can play.
So you've been doing canvassing the last 3 months, right?
I've been doing canvassing,
Yeah.
well, for myself for the
Yeah.
last few months.
So
I
what's
was the
the,
first candidate to
have
sign
you
up.
get people saying now, like, have people ask you, hey, there's another election, or another, how about, well, I'm going to vote now?
I
Have
get-
you
I get
got
a
people
little-
saying, I'm going to vote for the first time?
Yeah, I get a little bit of everything. I
Yeah.
get Dan, will you please stop knocking on my effing door? Because I've been doing it since Marco Mendocino days, right? But, I've gotten some negative response, but the majority of it, I'm surprised, and I use it in all my videos, I'm surprisingly humbled. Because the majority of it, I'm getting positive feedback, and even if the people want to vote for somebody
What
else.
is it saying?
Oh man, we're finally glad that somebody with lived experience is running as opposed to somebody that's just here for a party.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
and then I prove some of them are a little harder to prove it to. So, I have this thing
Hey, you want to show
here.
your tattoos or
Well,
not?
I don't know if I'm going to show it because I don't know if somebody will ping that against the election rules or not for using the city symbol. But everybody that
No,
knows
you can't
me,
use the city symbol during the election, but that's part of your body.
yeah, well, everybody knows me.
What do you say,
So
take it,
I'm not-
what do you say, take it off?
Yeah, exactly. Chop off your arm.
Take it off, integrity, take that
I
off.
can guarantee you that everybody that knows me, because there are pictures online and everything,
Yeah.
knows what the tattoo
I know
is.
you're dead, I've seen
Yeah.
pictures of you with a tattoo.
So I'm
You
personally.
get your sleep roll up, it's a
Yeah.
brand new tattoo, right?
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm
so- something to hide.
I'm personally
I like
gonna. I thank you. I appreciate
What's
it.
the other one? They have,
Oh, I
no,
have
the
a
one
few.
on the, there,
Oh,
what's
this?
that? Yeah,
This
what's
is my
that?
kid's initials.
Oh, your kids in this one,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And then this is my first daughter's birthday.
How many kids you got?
It depends on who you ask.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 daughters. One that's 31 years old,
Oh, wow.
and one that is 14.
Mhm.
I'll say, for lack of better terms, there was a situation about 8-9 years ago where there is another possibility of 2 daughters being mine.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, the mother has taken off to the West Coast, and so that's where that situation But for myself, two confirmed daughters. Again, one is 31. I was 17 years old when she was born, and then I didn't have another kid for another 17 years.
Are you in contact with the girls?
The older one lives here in the city. She actually, well, I won't say exactly where she lives, but somewhere in the Victoria Park and Danforth area. And the others, like I said, my 14-year-old lives Hamilton, right down, ironically, down the street from Hamilton City Hall.
Okay.
I haven't talked to her in a little while. Me and her mother have, I'm going to leave it at differences of opinions.
Okay. Well, let's talk about single parents. You know,
What about?
Yeah, so there's like points of parents, right? We all said that. And the question is about funding, right? As a single parent, you know, if somebody came up to you as counselor and said, "I'm a single parent. I'm on the streets. I got 3 kids." I've seen that before. That's why. What would you do for that person?
It's again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it starts with housing. 2019, one of the first cases I handled for Councillor Paul Ainsley was a young lady. And I've been told the term young lady isn't good to say, but I don't care. I'll say what I want. But it was a young lady. She was 19 or 20 years old. She came to me for help because she was on the TTC with her 6-day-old baby.
Oh my God.
If there's ever a person that you need to get housing for instantly, is a mother or a senior. Us as men and older people and older ladies, we can make do with what we got for a little while to hold ourselves over. But I think seniors and single, I would say single parents. Because sometimes, whatever, unfortunately a mother will pass away or something and the dad is the single parent. So I'll say single parent, key issue is housing. If they don't have housing, they have no base to start that life. And it's pretty sad if that life includes a 6-year-old baby. Like, I won't say exactly what happened to the baby, but the baby had a birth injury and wasn't dealt with, and it was pretty nasty. And the mother showed me, and like after I stopped crying, my key, not direction, but what I wanted to do for her was to get her housed first, because I knew without that, how are you going to take care of your kid from a fucking train or whatever, right? So it's housing, and then once you do that for them, it'll give them the sense of security that they can have somewhere to call home, and then build their life from there, whether it be employment or services. Maybe they need mental health services, so that's key. But again, not any one fixed thing will be or any one fixed solution can be a solution for everything. So start baby steps, and then work with that person, but don't forget about it. Like if I become counselor, there's going to be people dedicated to infrastructure issues, to parent issues, to senior issues. There's going to be people dedicated. So like once a month or whatever, I will have town halls, either once a month, once every 6 weeks, have live town halls in all different neighborhoods, and focus on the actual issues that are going on that time, so that they don't continue to linger 3 decades later like the crosstown. You know what I mean? And that's how you take care of it. You just get the job done. And like I said earlier, my focus is going to be trying to get things done before motions are necessary. I know how to participate in motions and how to write them up, and you need a seconder at City Hall. It's all about a collegial effort, because at City Hall you always need a seconder to your motion. If you don't have a seconder, what good are you going to be? You're going to be nothing.
Do you think that whole thing at City Hall should be changed, like the whole Madam Speaker and the whole format? Like we look at all the election things, like you said, like all the election rules and regulations are outdated. Basically, even after deputations. Okay, so you made an appointment for deputation. Did they give you a time? No.
No. You're not given a time.
Why that?
Because there is no time. You never know what the schedule of the agenda is going to be.
So example, like I know the last few count you've been through.
Yeah.
You see people sitting there all day.
Yeah.
They don't get their turn. They got to go back to work.
Absolutely.
Remember the woman took 2 days off work, didn't get a chance. So my thing about this whole, I asked City Clerk, since the whole city stands been in for years, would you change that? Say, for example, I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, I got to go back to work, I got to feed my family. You're at this time coming in, give some little leeway, and then you got to go back.
Well, see, that's what the problem is too, right? They usually what the process is they'll take the speaker issues first,
Yeah.
so that the speakers can speak. But then there's times that, like, say there's a timed item for the mayor,
Yeah.
or a timed item for a councillor that needs to be
Well, do you feel
somewhere.
there's a lot of wasted time when they had some?
Yeah, some of it
Well, I'll give you an
is.
example. Then when they, after the COVID was over, they had their first get together.
After the which?
After the COVID.
Yeah.
They had their first city council. I was watching it.
Mhm.
And the first thing was, I'll say that actually, James Pasternak guy. He's a good
Yeah.
guy. But I sat there for 45 minutes listening to the history of North York. I said, well, I don't want to hear this. You just read online. So that's 45 minutes wasted there. Then Michael Cole asked why is Leighton there? Former Leighton.
Mhm.
He was online. Why is it? Because his daughter was sick and all that. So that went on for 20 minutes, right? And then somebody questioned that. Then it went on for another 20 minutes. Well, that's 45 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. That's over an hour gone right there.
Doing nothing
Nothing,
but
exactly.
talking about themselves. So that is
Exactly.
one thing that frustrates me.
And it just sit there going, really?
It seems like they focus on themselves more than they do the actual
I mean, the whole
issues.
history of North York is great.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the history. I could just you can read it online.
Ironically, you said that because he is the first councillor. When I said I was going to go kill myself that time after giving my deputation,
Yeah.
he was the one in charge. It was called CDRC at the time,
Yeah.
Community Development and Recreation Committee. Now it's the Planning and Housing Committee.
Yeah.
But he was the first councillor I spoke to. He was
Yeah.
the chair.
And how was
So,
that?
for me, I didn't care.
Yeah.
It's all online. It's January 27th, 2016 CDRC meeting.
Yeah.
If you look on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I just gave my little speech, shared my experiences like I did with you here today. And they actually opened that shelter successfully.
Oh, good.
And it's right there in the middle of Leslieville down by Queen, right? So this work is not for the faint of heart. You know that. You ran before. Does it get overwhelming sometimes? Yeah. I think you can see I'm thinking in my brain right now. But again, $150,000 or $160,000 a year, whatever they get paid, I'm going to earn every penny.
Well,
of
they
it.
got a raise.
Yeah, they got a little raise, so I'm coming just in time. But I ain't never made 150 grand in my
So
life.
Dan, if somebody says Daniel, you go by Dan or Daniel?
Excuse me.
Daniel.
Danny.
So if somebody says Mr. Dan, I'm going to vote for you. So if something came out and say I'll take half the pay, would you still take the position?
Who's going to take half my pay?
No. If you were given a choice between running still and getting in there, and they say,
Mhm.
listen, we got you in there, but we're going to cut your pay. You still want to be in there?
So I'll tell you what my solution to that would be is if that's what the public wants, no, you're not taking half my money. But what I would be agreeable to, because I've talked about this before, and people told me I'm nuts, but they don't realize that those of us that may get assistance or get some help, we don't make no 10, 15 grand a year.
Yeah.
We're making what a counselor would make in a month.
Yeah.
So I would be agreeable if for the first year of council, you want to hold half my pay till the end of the year, that's fine. I'm getting that pay no matter
Yeah.
what. But if you want to hold half of it till the end of the year and until I can show myself, absolutely, I'd have no problem with that. You telling me I can't live off of 80 grand a year?
No.
I know.
I live off 13 grand a year.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
been there. I've been on welfare before where I'm getting $5,000, $6,000
It's
a
funny,
year.
like my brother-in-law, who's a cop, retired cop, he made good money. He did my taxes twice a year. He goes, how do you live off 13 grand a year? Hey, you manage.
Exactly.
But he
'cause-
couldn't conceive the idea of, well, I just can't conceive, because he came from a silver spoon. He's
Yep.
never struggled like us. Like, he doesn't even interest in issues like we do.
Now, at the same time, I would do that for clarification and love for my community, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to put any of my other colleagues in that position.
Yeah, exactly.
So that would be one of those things that would have to be like talked
Yeah.
about with everybody. I'm not one of those people who start BS over
What do you
something
think
stupid, right?
the list came out with the expense accounts not too long ago?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Because Integra TO did that.
Yep.
And they said the top 5 councils are those new ones, 1.5, between 1.5 and 1.3.
Yeah.
So,
I think I remember the counselors they had on that
yeah, I
list.
know, I'm gonna say the names, I know them all. But the thing is, that's fine, get expense account. Would you, as Councillor Ricks, be okay with having that kind of, I don't know what the budget is for each one of them, but would you say
I
it's
think-
necessary?
Yeah, it depends on what your involvement is. So if you're one of these counselors
Yeah.
that are on like 3 different committees
Yeah.
and you gotta be here and travel here and do this, obviously you're gonna need that budget. But again, and I hope you don't think I'm tooting your horn there, Antoinette, but I am. We had.
Are you shooting for some sort of birthday cake from her or some sort of
No, actually, the last time we spoke, it wasn't so nice.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm a realist, and I know I don't forget people that took me to the dance type
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
But they ran a tight ship, and every week we had our weekly staff meetings, which would show. Obviously, we were the counselor's voice. he's the figurehead to show up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As counselor, you show up, you do your thing, you leave. It's your supporting staff that are running your stuff.
Set things up, take things apart.
So we
That's
were
also
able to
important,
budget what we needed. There's also different levels of budgeting for different staff members. So if I'm just in need of a couple of constituency assistants, who, I don't know, I was getting paid like over 25 bucks an hour when I was there. That would be something to focus on then. But let's say, for example, for some fluke of a reason, people like me, they elect me this time around, I don't know, maybe I'm appointed one of the deputy mayors in a new term of office. You know what I mean? Just because they like me. Obviously, my budget's gonna be a lot more in need.
Yeah.
If I'm just running regular stuff, like I was shown the proper way to do it. So it wouldn't be an issue for me. I wouldn't have no problem showing people. The number is what it is. It's the number, right? Like, deal with it.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to that, you're either going to get full service for what you're paying for, or you're going to get shittier service with less money because it's just common sense. That's the way the world works, right? Personally, I don't have a problem sharing that stuff, so it wouldn't be an issue for me.
So I got a question. One of my friends, his name is Franklin. He's I think you're my podcast. We're friends now. We're actually starting a sort of thing called the ACANS for disabilities. It's just the worst right now. So he asked me, have you asked the candidates a question about disabilities? So I'm going to ask you. I didn't ask the other candidates. What would you do to improve for disabilities, for accessibility? For example,
Well, see, that's a frustrating thing because I think we were supposed to be fully accessible by 2025 or something, right? And that didn't happen.
yeah, or 20, I think it was 2018.
Yeah, and then
but it
got
only
extended.
went so far because, like, for example,
Yeah.
like I did another interview, like other projects I've done. The prior sector, like your own house, whatever. Like, say you're running a function at your house, and you're opening the public, with people with accessibility things. There should be a bylaw that you need to have that in place.
So I think for me in Ward 8, Eglinton Lawrence in particular, because I can't save the world, right? So I got to focus on the area that I'm running for, and I would put together something based upon my personal apartment building right now.
Yeah.
For example, we have the nursing program in there for the seniors.
Oh, nice.
So the nurses have their own little office downstairs. They tend to the residents in the neighborhood.
Will they come once a week or whatever? Or
You got to apply for it. So depending on what your disability is or what your issue is, if you're a senior or if you're bedridden, there's a couple of people that are bedridden there that they get changed or whatever, and some of them are just getting the services of like reheating meals for them or what have you, right? Doing their laundry, little things that help.
Do you think that should be, do you think it should be mandatory? Like, even in my building, there's a lady up on the left floor, and when she needs to get a light bulb, she's a senior, she's a friend of my mom's, and then she would call me up to help her out. Because she couldn't call the landlord, it's just not my job.
I think
I'll give you the light bulb, that's not my job. But she can't climb a ladder, you know?
The one thing they got to focus on too, a big mistake, especially in public housing buildings, is that, like, say for example, I remember one time, and it doesn't matter about his weight, but we had a guy that was like over 500 pounds and 6'5" or 6'6", and he lived on the top floor of the building. What point does that make?
Yeah.
Because, like, let's say there's a fire,
Exactly.
there's no
Yeah,
elevators.
yeah.
Who's carrying him down the stairs? Those firefighters, which are more than capable.
Yeah.
But you're going to be twisting and turning.
I've seen in the States, they take him out through the windows.
You know what I mean? But if you're going to do that off the 15th floor, you better be strong, because if he drops off that ladder, that's the end of it, right? So I think it's got to be on a case-by-case basis, because what's going to work in my apartment building, which runs smoothly other than the capital projects, that's a story for another day. We'll get into that later in the election. But like when it comes to stuff like helping people age in place, that's a big focus that I've heard in the community through this campaign. Helping seniors age in place in their homes, and focusing on the programs that we can do as opposed to the ones we can't do or that people want to argue about. It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's been neglected, just like homelessness and everything else. But it's got to start somewhere. So I would say focus on doing little by little. Instead of focusing on 10 things, focus on 3 things first. Get it done. And it's ironic, we're sitting here at the table and there's a disability symbol right here acknowledging that it's for people.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, like, okay, what can I do for people that need help with mobility? What can I do for people that need help with food security? And so on and so forth. Our building just happens to be lucky that we have those nurses there and a bunch of workers. The main community hub for TCHC is right there in our building. So we're good, but if we could focus that on other places. Our community doesn't have a lot of public housing, except for like Lawrence Heights we have, and maybe a couple other buildings, including mine. It's a lot of single family homes there where say the folks from back in the '60s that were construction workers or bricklayers or whatever are now older, and they're trying to live in that community still. So little by little, we're never going to get everything right, but as long as you start something, you can always finish something. I hate starting something not being able to finish. It's like OCD, man.
I just talked to a couple of people about this, with the landlord accountability. Do you think it should be mandatory that landlords should know all the tenants, who they are, for example? Well, in my building, a lady passed away. She was in an apartment again for like 2 weeks. She had no relatives, nobody involved, right? And we have the bicycle. We have a lot of tenants, like you said. A lot of residents take care of each other.
Yeah.
But I think it should be the landlord. It's not mandatory, but I think if you're like if I slam on an apartment, like when I was in Richmond Hill, when I went on vacation, I told my landlord on vacation for him to know it. I'm not going to the apartment. Another example is I just had an accident. I had busted my finger at the gym, so I couldn't have run a mobile. So he would make sure he on his own, not mandatory. He made sure to do a fall, ask the assistant come and check on me, and help that. And I thought it was great. It made a big difference. Being myself, but like things like that, like light bulbs, little things like that. I think it should be I think it should be mandatory. Landlords should know your tenants. There's a movie came out. Remember the Towering Inferno years ago?
No, I'm not a big movie buff.
Oh, okay. This is a movie.
Last time I was in the movie theater actually was when the Uptown Theater was still on.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's a great theater. I love that.
It was like 1995.
Yeah,
I think.
You know what's funny? Really, what we say? I heard they tore it down, but they didn't want to pay the money for the accessibility.
No, it fell down.
Oh, did it fall down?
Yeah, it collapsed.
Which one I'm thinking about?
Next door.
Oh, what's the one beside it on Young?
Next door was a school for second language or
what's
whatever.
the one on Young? That's just before Bloor. It wasn't the Uptown. There was
South,
one there.
It was south of Bloor.
Yeah, there's one they said they refused to pay because of the talk about accessibility came into effect. Something that make it accessible already, and they didn't because the way I think it was one of the older one, and they didn't want to spend the money to end up just closing it down.
Well, maybe that's what they told you guys in the news, and I never heard about it. But I know it collapsed.
No, it wasn't the
because
Uptown. It was
couple-
something the other theater. It's really, I can't remember. It's been so long.
I don't know.
But
Well, it was.
it was on the west side of Young, just before Bloor or Danforth or whatever.
It was.
The Uptown was over there. I know that. It was further down. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It looked small from the inside. It was like one of the little entrance,
But it looked like
Yeah,
like an older
yeah.
building, like a heritage
Yeah,
building,
yeah.
right? But I remember it because it was the movie Up Close and Personal. So if you go back and Google it, you'll see what year that was in.
Yeah.
It was Celine Dion's song, "Because You Love Me," and
I'm
Michelle
gonna stop.
Pfeiffer.
I'm gonna fall asleep. Don't do that.
I can't sing. Man. I can't sing.
No, she puts me to sleep.
can't sing.
I'm not singing on it. I should get singer.
Well, yeah, it's,
but you think it should be mandatory for landlords to keep an account? Well, back to the Tower Inferno. Being movie I really like. So when the fire starts at this building, people watch the movie. The fire chief played by Steve McQueen. He asked the O.J. Simpson, the black guy. He's like, he asked, "What's your tenants got this?" He's like, "What do you want to know about tenants?" Well, tenants have this. Some are salesmen. They can have metal. Some are this. They can have this. So I thought, you know what? It's good to know your tenants. What you do.
I think
it's more like example, you're a painter, right? So you can have a apartment full of, flammable products, right? It's good to know, right?
I think it depends on that flies back and attracts the shit, I guess.
Different flying not that way.
Sent his brother after me. I think it depends also too, the rules change when it's a private landlord as to Toronto Public House. Like in Toronto Community Housing in our building, we're required when we sign the lease to give emergency information
Well, yeah,
for
that's for all,
Yeah.
But I mean, a little beyond that. Well,
I think if I was dead, I would want them to tell people that I'm
it's
dead.
sad that the woman that are filming on the fourth, she passed away 2 weeks. Nobody knew where she went, right?
Like if it's a privacy issue or something.
But some
like
people,
some people don't want to be found.
but I'd rather, like for me, I'd say like I knew this lady in another building lived there. She hated this lady was over here. You banging? How you doing, Mrs. So and So? Don't bang it. Just swear. But you know what? It was routine. As long as we did it every second day, and the day if we didn't hear her voice was the day like something's wrong. And
Definitely.
They went to the apartment, and she had a heart attack, massive heart attack.
Yeah, you get
not a heart attack. I had a stroke.
But you get to learn your neighbors.
But because that routine
Yeah.
was broken because she didn't answer the door with the whole swearing and cursing, and the next day they came and asked her, they saved her. But
You ever do these interviews and wonder if your phone shut off?
Did my phone shut off? No, what do you mean?
I don't know. Sometimes when I'm doing videos, right in the middle of the video, my video cuts off. I'm going, what do I do?
I've had phone calls like when I'm taping video behind the camera. I'll get every time I'll get some family tragedy or something happens, like my cousin died. They'll have a message, but the video will be on still. It won't. Samsung.
Yeah,
No, I do think of a message. They'll hit beep, like
it'll give you a beep, yeah.
Like the stand will go like it'll deafen for me to see it, then it'll go back to the video's still on. Yeah, it won't interrupt.
I
yeah.
think what we should focus on too, for the people that are listening to this from Ward 8, Eglinton, Lawrence, is start questioning after, obviously, August 21st, you know, after the nomination day,
Yeah.
that's when your debates start and stuff like
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
I think in Ward 8, one of the questions that needs to be asked is this focus by the incumbent that seems to be parading around his, and I'm using air quotes, but his direct business for the city, and it's really like a campaign election thing, right? Like, because, for example, a couple of weeks ago, he had a let's talk about Ward 8 thing with the MP of the area up at a church. No other candidate was invited. So you're talking about the future of an area that you might not be leading.
Yeah.
Like this, it's so frustrating to me, not on a personal standpoint, because I'll get my word out there anyway, but from the standpoint of practicing a great democracy for the area. It doesn't give the community members an opportunity.
Like you said, these are old
to hear-
tactics been going on for years.
I-
Same
I-
thing going on for years.
I mean, I've listened to all your interviews, and I'm gonna even be listening to the ones if you
Well,
do
we just
any
talked
with the
earlier
other
about the
candidates.
consultation, with the public consultation with the community though. That age just came to my head talking to you about it. I'm like, if somebody says, hey Daniel, let's do it, let's have a con, you organize with the Jewish groups and all that.
Yeah.
You've been there and talk about, and that has to be done. Right?
I would do
I think it'd be
it.
a great idea for you, like, you know, because the only way you get yourself out there is to sell yourself, basically what you're doing right now.
Mhm.
Sell some social media and talking about what's going on. And then you're like, so you gotta say, well, the sign thing. It took you what, 7 days, and
Yeah,
and
6, 7
and
days,
nothing
yeah.
happened for how many years? It's sitting there.
At least
I
3.
mean, that just says right there, right? And that's just
Exactly.
one issue.
Exactly.
That's just one issue, right?
And that's what it boils down to. Do you want somebody for, they call it shits and giggles, for a good laugh?
Yeah.
Do you want Mike Cole just because, like, you're 90 years old and you've known him for the past 90 years?
I heard I get a lot of emails, right? Being for mayor and running all the debates
Oh, yeah.
and all the pots, you know. For some reason, they think I'm the HQ of all these questions.
Mhm.
And they ask me questions about you, but I won't answer. I won't answer.
No, I want you to.
You do? Okay.
I don't care.
So the question is the last thing with I don't even insult the companies. I don't like putting them, but
Yeah.
the last thing that you did with the approach, the press conference that we interrupted and was frustrated with
Yeah.
the whole shootings and all. And people were writing to me that live in your ward.
Yeah.
We'll say the names, and they said, "You guys got to let it go. We've been fighting for this for years.
Yeah.
What's going on with the prejudice and the riots, and,
Yeah.
and you're jumping up and down with your appalled what's going on in my community. Well, why not? I'll take a year out of your why the F you do something about it.
So just to clarify.
I'll take one out of your words, Daddy.
Just to clarify,
Yeah.
that situation happened in the area he lives in, but it's not in Ward 8, Eglinton, Lawrence.
No.
So that, I don't know which one it is, if that's Toronto, St.
Well, the
Paul's
question is
or whatever.
why the frustration, why the
So
protest?
he could,
trying to look at the concern for because it's the election year, right? We know
so
what's going on.
he could speak on it because he's the deputy mayor. He
Yeah.
covers this area as
Yeah.
deputy mayor, but as councillor and incumbent, it's not his area, it's not
Yeah.
my area. I went to the vigil for that, I told you before.
Was he there?
And no,
Why not?
no, I don't know, you're gonna have to ask him.
Well, what's
Like,
that mean?
like, he wasn't there.
Not even a rep. Was there even a rep?
No, not
Nothing.
for him. Nope. Josh Matlow was there. Mayor Chow was there. What's the lady for Toronto St. Paul? Leslie
Councillor?
Church? No, the MP.
Oh,
I believe her name's Leslie Church.
Okay.
Merritt Stiles was there. You know, a number of former colleagues, Joe Mahevic, and I was there along with another candidate who, well, it's a story for another time, but anyway, I won't tell that story because I'm not here to boost up their egos.
So then, sorry, why should he be there?
So,
Why should he be there?
oh,
Why
why should he be there?
Yeah.
At the vigil?
Yeah.
Well, first off, like you just said, he was the one that jumped up and down and pitched a bitch and
Yeah.
interrupted. I don't know if it was a superintendent for 13 Division or a deputy chief.
Yeah.
Could be both.
Yeah.
But I saw that, and that's
Yeah.
what made me go to the vigil.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he did it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the hell is this guy doing? You're just told, the first thing I said was, you just told the public that you guys have been dealing with this for years. You just proved to the public that you haven't done nothing
Yeah.
about it for years.
So when you went to the video, do you expect him to be there?
I did, because it was the area he lived in, and he's the deputy mayor for that area of Toronto.
And nobody questioned about why he's not there?
Oh, I don't know. For me, it was about being there for the vigil.
So
and
Mike,
not,
Councillor Monica, why weren't you there? Seriously. This is your ward, right?
no,
Not his ward.
no, but he's the deputy mayor, so it's one of his duties, and he lives in that area
Well,
that it happened in.
back to the stipulation of this is my ward. Like I've asked like things that other debates I've been to. I said this is about what's on my ward. I say this is word. Well, why can't you tell me what I just said? But like I said, it's not his ward, right? You were there.
Yeah.
Was that
yeah.
your ward?
No, no.
And you're running for
Yeah,
council?
it was the church that I was baptized at, though.
Yeah.
So that was.
Was
one
it
thing.
Styles
But
ward?
yeah, she lives in that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you talking living? Or are
Yeah.
you talking working? Because
No,
Styles
living.
is the leader of the whole NDP
Yeah,
party for
yeah,
the province,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
she could be anywhere she wants
Yeah.
to. Just like Mike Cole is a deputy mayor. Well, I guess you're saying we can't call them deputy mayor now. and
No,
stuff
you
for
gotta
the
call
time
him
being.
candidate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so candidate
Yeah.
Cole.
Candidate Cole.
Was performing his duties as deputy mayor, but that's an area he can do that in. But no, it's not Ward 8 Eglinton Lawrence. That is, I believe it's Toronto St. Paul's.
Okay.
So it's a totally different area. But it was
That's-
one of those
that's,
issues.
Matlow's girl, right?
Yeah, that is Matlow's municipally, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who the provincial person is there, but and federally it's that Leslie Church lady. I went there out of just for what happened.
Well, when you were there, were you asking like, where is he? Like,
No,
No, I mean-
because we were trying to talk about
oh, here's another question.
non-political stuff.
Was it expected they didn't show up because they're used to it? Like
Um,
other scenarios in the past, has there been things where
I-
you should have been there? But-
Personally, if I was Mike Cole,
Yeah.
I would have been there.
Yeah.
And I'm not just shitting on him because I'm running against
Yeah,
him right now.
yeah.
I'm being legit. I went there personally because not to campaign. I didn't go there with no
Well,
signs.
what
or-
did you hope to accomplish when you were there yourself?
it was a personal thing. It was just a personal choice to show, I don't know if you want to call it solidarity,
Yeah,
with the
solidarity.
whole city, right?
Exactly, yeah.
This was an important issue that happened and it affected a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that jumping up in front of the mayor and the other one,
The
and
amount of emails I got for that one, I didn't know about it. I had to watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I kept
And-
saying, send me the link. I don't know what you're talking about. I get the
And
quite often, like, what are you
on-
talking about?
On one of the things I agree with, I do believe for myself personally, when people have repeat offenses for gun offenses especially, which is apparently the case in this case and many others, I do believe it should, I agree, it should, no bail. Fuck you.
Let's get into that.
Go for it.
The alleviation on crime, the amount of people that get away with anything. The fight, I have teenagers, I have rights, I've seen it myself in the McDonald's, they're 19 years old, making all the damage to the wall, they take another keep coming back. You know, they're in McDonald's for 2 weeks ago, running around throwing ice at each other, the parents with kids, adults. And you know what happened? All the fathers got up, all different nationalities, I want to say. They got up and you just grab and say, get the F out of here. And they kept saying, we got rights, we got rights. You know what? If this happened in any other country, as I've been around the world myself, I don't know about you, but in any other
Never
country,
been
I'll give you
anywhere.
if it happened in certain countries, they would just be going
Yeah.
to jail. There's no rights, they don't have none of this. You know?
I
And that's the
believe-
thing is with I'll agree with Doug Ford. The laws are too soft. They are too soft.
I agree with regards to sentencing. Unfortunately, that's a whole different level of government's issue, as you know.
Yeah.
When it comes to bail, though, that's a provincial thing.
Well, it is-
I know
yeah.
I know a little bit about
Yeah.
bail. Wink, wink.
Well, with Steve, the
And
council
it's-
do work with the prevent
That-
crimes, right? Well, mayor.
exactly.
So it's not the, when people say, well, like around for mayor, I want to control rent reduction, right? And then, well, that's a provincial thing. You're not a
Yeah.
communist. So, well, you work at the city. Just because you work doesn't mean you're limited as a council. You can apply, you can fight, you can do what you know. It's
pe-
volunteer, right?
when people ask me what my platform for, I don't know, immigration is, right? I go, I don't have one. And they look at me like I'm a weirdo going, what do you mean you don't have one?
What's a platform for immigration? That's kind of what.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like those are federal issues and this is a provincial issue, but there's certain things you can't avoid. And one thing that everybody faces is that bail. And when people that are having repeat offenses for the same
Same thing over.
violent crimes
Yeah.
over and over again, a guy's out on bail for a gun possession and he shot 2 people.
Yeah.
Like what?
And then he's
No.
out again, right?
No bail.
Yeah.
No bail. I agree with that. You fuck up the one time, no
That's it.
bail. Because somebody like me or yourself or anybody else that's faced homeless issues or mental health issues, I remember sitting in jail one time back in the day for 45 days and I think I stole $90.
Yeah.
But yet the guy beside me in the prisoner's box was just charged with second-degree murder and one guy was charged with attempted murder.
Yeah.
They got a 2-year house arrest. Tell me what's wrong with this
That's what I
picture.
mean. That's what I mean.
Because I can't afford a lawyer, I deserve to sit in jail, but
Yeah.
this guy pays you $20,000 and he gets out.
Yeah.
So I agree with that portion of what he was talking about. But there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
There's a time and place to pick and choose your arguments and what you want to do, and like we said earlier, with results. I think standing up, interrupting not only the mayor, but also that police officer and everybody else that was suffering at that time was the wrong move. I don't care that it was Mike Cole. On a professional level, Does it work out for me? I don't know.
And
We'll see
the
at
other
end of
emails I
election.
got, I read like mentioned, the other emails, another council, I use this opportunity as a photo op for selection. That's another thing, I get a lot of emails, it's so tacky, why do you do that?
Yeah.
You're not doing you're not doing the first of all to help the community with what's going on.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and you're there standing with a flag in front of the restaurant, sorry, or the bakery, and you're saying, you know, we should overcome all this stuff. Like,
Well, I think that's just like that vigil you were just talking about. There was another candidate there, and I'm not going to mention who, but you might know, other people might know. But there was another candidate there, and they didn't go there like in a, you know, in dress pants and a little shirt or whatever. They went there with their campaign shirt on. And it's like,
Oh,
you're,
yeah,
you're at a,
yeah.
and I'm not going to mention his name now because
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
just
matter.
tacky, yeah.
But to show up at a vigil where you're trying to mourn for people that just went through a situation.
And
that-
you're wearing your vote for me shirt.
Yeah, like that shit, you know.
And desperation again, right?
And when reality comes down to it, year of the age, you'll know too. Year of the gun was 2005 when poor, what's her name? I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but 15-year-old in front of Foot Locker on Yonge Street there was
Yes.
shot dead.
Yeah.
And that was the year of the gun, and this is the year we're going to do everything. And here we are 21 years
That
later.
was in the summertime, right?
Yeah, it was
You know, it's like, I was
your other
coming-
mother.
Yeah, I was from the Rosebush bookstore. That was before the, I was before prior, I can't remember now. I was
I'm not sure the exact
You know the
date.
there's a BMW Center beside the World's Biggest back then? This is a while back. This is when the World's Biggest still around. So,
On Yonge? Yeah.
So I was coming out of the store, and somebody just told me to go in the store in this BMW. So I said, what am I doing here? You know, it's like, what am I standing here for? And just as I walked out, I heard the gunfire. Bang, 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 bang. I come around the corner, right there.
Yeah.
That close, right?
But here we are 21 years later in the same effing problem. I
Same
must have
thing.
set a record
No,
for
I
swearing
said
on
the
your show,
crime's
but
increased, right?
it has.
We got people. Candace wants to say I'm going to put 1,000 police officers. Like that's great, right? What's it going to solve?
But then you got the other candidate saying, well, and I'm not going to say who's who, but you know who's who. Brad Bradford put it out there that he wants to hire another 1,000, which is great. But then you got Chow
Yeah.
saying that it's not possible. And when you do the calculations, it is possible.
Yeah.
Because I think they said you could hire 320 per year, and he said he wanted 1,000 in his first term.
Yeah.
So do 4 times 320. How many cops is that? 1,200.
Yeah.
So you could obviously do
The thing
1,000.
is, Dan, we've been this old. This is getting so old. I'm getting so redundant, right? Use the word a lot. Well, okay. Well, when Tory was around, they had the whole thing with the province and all. They all no, it was Chow. Nothing. It was for it. Tory. They're all standing up, police representatives on the back. We're investing $40 million in fraud and all this stuff, like stolen cars and all this stuff, but it didn't go anywhere. These campaign press these press conferences go nowhere. You know?
It's
like they're
because-
trying to appease the public.
It's because the turnover rate of candidates
Yeah.
is just stupid. It doesn't make
And so
any
these
sense.
candidates are still running, and still like doing the re-election running from there. Like I'm gonna think this guy, but like make it sense. I'm gonna have 1,000 going. I'm gonna solve. Let me solve the issue. Let me appease the audience. This is always appeasing
Show us how.
the audience that actually votes. Yeah, exactly.
Show us how.
Yeah.
Like, see, as a counselor, I'm not trying to be mayor. I'm
Yeah.
trying to help you with your day-to-day issues,
Yeah.
like your garbage, your transit, your police issues, property taxes. Surprise, I know about them. I know how to budget properly. I've been a part of many budget process. Everything I can tell you, I can tell you off the top of my head. One thing too, you will never see me reading off a piece of paper, even at the debates.
Yeah.
So unless I'm going there with a fixed number
That's
to
when
tell
I
the
do
public about.
I always do my homework on like you do your homework.
Mhm.
And we've talked before, right? So I always trying to remember everything, right?
Yeah,
Because
no,
sometimes
I-
you'll forget things and you're trying to get everything out, like the rates
Yeah.
are limited.
Oh,
So,
totally,
yeah.
totally.
So that's how I get over.
Even like today, I'm gonna go home and watch this after.
But you
right?
gotta see on the news, like talk shows, like they got their notes here. Like, if you're not gonna invest in your subject or your guest, like reading a book. You gotta read the book for you. I've been on pod shows, but the guy hadn't read the book yet. There's one on it was on the Titanic. He had 4 people on his pod show. They all wrote books. He's never read any of them. I go.
Well, this is what frustrates me about the mainstream media, right? Like, they have every opportunity to get folks like myself and other candidates on there, and they just don't do it because we're not part of a party. We're not filling their fucking
They
pockets.
don't want a guy with mental problems.
No,
They don't want a guy
that,
with
right?
homeless problems.
But I'm gonna make
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? I'm not being crude,
Yeah.
but this is the reality.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
election, they'll interview people on 24 and they'll say, these are the neutral answers, what do you think, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
There's somebody here can say, look, I don't want to vote, but I'm running for council, I have mental problems, I've been to the rotten. You're not gonna see that. Why not?
I'm hoping that they learn
This is
from,
it's unrealistic.
I hope they learn from this video today.
You know,
Even if it's not
or
for.
50%, they said 50% of people can't afford their own house, 50% it's over, right? 70 now, maybe more, are living under the belt, under the income level.
So even that's one of, and I'm not gonna give away Kiara's campaign, because that's her to talk about.
Don't do it,
right?
she'll get you.
No, but one of the
Have you
good,
seen her? Have you seen her husband? He's mean. No, I'm kidding.
I have.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. No,
Wait for
they're-
our chili, by the way.
they're actually local residents from the neighborhood too, right?
Yeah. But you see what she did? I'm tuning in. Oh, just to mention also, well, I was studying by the other interviews. I like what you guys are doing. You candidates are all supporting each other. I met Jenny
Yeah.
Woods. There's Char was
Yeah.
there. Met her.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in a while. I was at. Yeah, I met Chris in it. Jenny was there with Kevin Rubinstein. He was at that campaign.
No, I worked on Kevin Rubin.
Yeah. But I'm saying you guys are supporting each other. You went yesterday to go canvasser.
Yeah,
and you're running for council.
and that was
right?
important because that was one of the
Yeah.
neighborhoods that I grew up in as
Yeah.
a kid. But one of the important things that I heard her saying at the doors, and I don't even know if she realizes she's doing this, but if she does, it's a great thing because it's the truth. I don't believe there's any renters on council.
No.
So everybody owns
No.
their own place, and
They
so
own it,
yeah,
yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
have an understanding of it, right?
Exactly.
And when you got people, the problem, and maybe we can end on that point.
Well, we know what the dollar
coming up.
goes, right?
Well, yeah, and when you got that many people, say for example, that haven't been there in 4 years, and then they're coming back 8 years later to try it again.
Yeah.
Well, no, you were voted out the last time because there was something about you that people didn't want.
Exactly.
So what makes you think coming back 8 years later is
Well,
going
the
to
guy,
help?
another councilor's, I never actually I don't think I remember percent.
Yeah, I met him, yeah.
He got voted back. Yeah, like, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
Yeah, no, I've known him for a little while. I have a history with Holiday.
The no man.
Yeah, well, when my mom was part of the auxiliary police, she was a 10-year sergeant at auxiliary
Oh, okay,
police.
okay.
The person that would drive her around to the events was the same guy that drove around Holiday's dad.
Okay.
The guy's name was Todd or something like that, and I don't know if he was a cop or not. But anyway, and Holiday used to work with one of my brothers at. He might hate me for saying this, but I don't give a
You
crap.
mean this holiday?
Yeah, this holiday.
Oh,
So
okay.
Stephen Holiday started out at a place called Lansing Bildall,
Okay.
and I believe he worked the paint department, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
That's
the
where he
company,
that's where he met his wife.
Yeah.
Well, my
I remember the
older
logo right now.
yeah, my older brother was the head of sales for them. So
Okay.
they worked there at the same location at the same time. So that's a connection there. Like, there's a lot of people. I bet you. I want to challenge all you interviewers to ask the candidates if they had. There's 25 councillors and one mayor. If they had all those pictures in front of them with no names on them, how many of those candidates or councillors can you name?
You mean? Oh,
And I guarantee you, at least half the candidates couldn't name a third of them.
you mean the councilors, the old councilors? Yeah.
Yeah. Put their pictures up there
Yeah.
and ask them what their name is.
Yeah.
Not even a third. I can name every single one. I know who the deputy city manager is, the city manager is, and all these relationships are important when voting for your next city councilor.
Yeah.
It's real simple here, folks. It's like I told you earlier. This situation in Ward 8 is going to end in a vote split.
Yeah.
And
Like a lot of the
it's-
wards too as well, right?
And I think this is going to be a four-way vote split.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I got a gut feeling, just like I have a gut feeling about Kiara and a couple other candidates.
Yeah.
I have a gut feeling that this is going to work in my favor,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be a landslide. But only one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to win by a couple of votes, or Mike Cole's going to kick the crap out of all of us.
Well, it's the
It's
same.
that simple.
Have you got the voter list, Fana, where all the votes are in the last?
No, no.
You have access to that.
Yeah.
So my point is that with that, as long as that same bunch of people keep voting in that area, well, say they all vote for him, he's gonna win. The last one we got. Now this roll, nobody votes.
Yeah.
But if you had all these people voting, he wouldn't win.
I
And we
think.
talked before. I think we said on the phone, if there was a computer voting or whatever, none of these comes to win. We know that.
Yeah. No. I think.
29% is not telling to be proud of jumping up and down like Lindsay Adams.
I think with 4 candidates in this race, we're all going to get our little pockets of people that are going to
Yeah.
vote for us, and it's whatever
The-
pocket is bigger.
That's
it.
the increased vote is going to be, and I know they're nervous.
They are
nervous.
last time I talked to
When you
Mike
see Josh
Cole-
Mallow canvassing Myers, then something's up.
Last time-
and he never canvassed anybody.
Last time I saw Mike Cole was at what's called Dream Wheels on Eglinton, and it was just a couple of weeks ago there, and it shows all the classic cars. It's in support of Sick Kids Hospital.
Okay.
That's where the money goes to, right? So I ran into MP Vince Sparrow. He was, hey Dan, how's it going? Yeah, we talked for a couple minutes. I ran into the NPP, Michelle. I keep calling her Michelle Spencer because that was another candidate back in the day. Her name's Michelle Cooper, and we had a great conversation. I ran into Mike Cole. Hey buddy, that's all I got. And he ran away. I'm going, what are you doing? And last 3 years I've been shoveling your corner where our building is, and now I'm, hey buddy? So it's just inspiring me to work that much harder. And I know I gotta work double hard because of what he's doing. But it's about the neighborhood. It's about loud kids like that.
The kids are just walking. Where are they at? Where are they? Outside the hotel underground?
I don't even know where we are. I don't know. We're here.
I had to take a video to show them where we're at.
Well, yeah, that's just going to be the focus. It's totally.
So before we sign off here, talk about your family. Now that your family is more communicating, you're more better relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you feel about you running for council?
They think I'm crazy.
Okay.
They think
I was looking for a different answer.
My 12-year-old niece. We just before your mother passed away, which I'm sorry about, man.
Thank you. And thank you for your support there.
About 2 or 3 weeks before that, we lost my sister-in-law to.
My mom would have loved you.
Oh, we would go. I recognize her
She
from
loves
somewhere. I know
because all her family has all Irish have blue eyes like yours.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
That's my family is Irish and English,
she would
right?
say she'd be going to my brother, my grandfather's side.
He just a couple weeks before that we lost my sister.
You lost your sister too, right?
Yeah, and it was my little 12-year-old niece got to be going through hell now, but she's such a cool kid.
Yeah.
And she always jokes with me in the car because I ride with them to family functions because my brother drives. I home. And
it's hard losing
she goes,
12, right? Yeah.
She goes, so what are you going to do when you get 2 votes? What are you talking about?
So
yeah, but you know what was cool about it? It was because she actually saw that in the other elections that I participated in, which weren't in the area I live in, I got my ass kicked. And so she saw that. So I'm proud that she's able to look at it. I know she knows I'm doing something positive. But this is different. This is a different race. This is not Ward 15 Don Valley West. This isn't Scarborough Agent Court. This is my home where I live. Like I said, I was born here, I live here, I'm gonna die here. And my focus is on the community, and on October 26th, that's all it's gonna be about. And I get these gut feelings sometimes. I'm not a psychic, I get these gut feelings, and I have a gut feeling about this one.
That's good.
That it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out okay in the end.
That's good.
So I hope others can take lessons from this. And like I said in my other videos, I want other candidates also protect yourself, man. My face is drooping like a fucking prune today, okay? So take care of yourself, wear hats,
be healthy, don't
yeah.
stress. No.
And if you need a rest day, take the rest day.
Yeah. I remember Tara got sick, I think, once or twice during her election. She was she was. I think she got sick. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
She wasn't feeling good. I remember doing a video. She was out. Like, it was in the summertime, the heat, and it just happened.
I never met her before this year.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Never.
Yeah.
But when I looked at her campaign, because I give all candidates, because they're potential colleagues.
Yeah.
So you gotta know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Some candidates don't want to do that. I'll put in that effort. So when I looked at it, and I knew she was the 94, we call her the 94 gold person.
Yeah.
But we can't let that happen again. Just like I couldn't let Vince Sparrow lose another election in Eglinton Lawrence, because we would have ended up with another PC person screwed, blued, and tattooed. We would have got nothing, right? So just focus on the people and make it about the people when you're running for councillor. If you want to run for provincially or federally, it's about your party, and you have to be holding, what do they call them, government whips or whatever, or keep the government in line and parties in line. Fine, if that's what you want to do. That's not what I want to do. I want to talk to Phil. I don't want to talk to Phil's whole family that doesn't live in the area.
Exactly, yeah.
I want to talk to Phil.
Yeah.
So that's the way I'm going to work it, and I just hope I can count on the community's support on October 26th, and let's shock the world.
So do you have anything planned, upcoming what planned for yourself, or anything?
No. So I made an announcement the other day. Whatever. Starting September 1st, once a week, I'm going to be meeting at various locations with the community.
Yeah,
I'm going to put out a blast, whether, I don't want it to be a total pub crawl, right?
Yeah.
But, we can meet at the library, or not the library, sorry, that's city property. Like parks, anywhere around the area, but I want it to be area focused, because I've been meeting, surprisingly, with the black community, especially the black youths that are trying to get jobs, and the group is called BIPOC or something. But anyway, every Friday, I think it's 3 to 7 p.m. every Friday. They meet at the southeast corner of Dufferin and Eglinton. They have a little market there,
Yep.
because the farmers market happens on Sundays. And they have a stand there, a group that will talk to you about all the issues like that. So I encourage not only candidates, but I encourage everybody in the community to go learn from them. And like I said, keep it real. Keep it real. None of this, I may do this, I promise. Any candidate that promises you anything is lying to you.
Yeah.
Because as a candidate for council, like I said, you need a seconder and you need collegial efforts together. So if I come to you and say, Phil, I promise you that I'm gonna save the trees,
Yeah.
it's a lie,
Yeah.
because how do I know who I'm working with?
Well, that's the thing.
And I've already
Just the
formed
money
those.
thing. I did them last by-election when they raised it. I won't promise any money because I'm lying.
Yeah.
I know what's in the city budget. I've never been there, so I don't know what the player. I
I
can't
may-
just say I'm gonna part. Well, other than
See, I even know what the budget is,
Yeah.
because I've been there.
Yeah, so
But I
you
can't,
get
but I
the same
can't
thing,
promise
right?
you
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
because
it's
I don't know who I'm gonna be working
that's
with.
right. Yeah.
But
It's a false prep.
I have,
And like back these are old election tactics. We've been going on for
Mm.
years. It's outdated.
and I have already though formed those relationships.
Yeah.
So I can start on day one.
Yeah.
But I always tell people I'll start on day two, because day one is spent setting up your IT people, your computers and stuff like that. I could start the office tomorrow if we had to.
Yeah.
So October 26th, all I can say is look at the bottom of the list there, see Daniel Trayes, make that mark, and let's shock the world.
So
and make things
before
happen.
I'm gonna go around and turn the camera up, and then you face the camera.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you tell people why they need to vote for you.
Absolutely,
So tell
thank you,
that
Phil.
camera.
Yeah, so October 6th to 11th is the early voting, and October 26th, just get out and vote for your only true independent candidate in Ward 8 Eglinton Lawrence, Daniel Trayes. The only promise I'll make to you is I'm gonna work my ass off.
Thank you so much, sir.